What up, chat? Let's not waste any time tonight. How's it going? I might have to actually hold on. I need to wait probably a couple minutes. I think I got to get some caffeine if we're gonna do this tonight. You guys get me excited in a good way. Hey, Bernie, what up? What up? What up? Yeah, guys, give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna grab some caffeine real quick. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Full screen face. Full screen face. My coffee machine is heating up. I screwed up. What up, everybody? What up? Tito and soda. Yeah, I'm not drinking tonight. I kind of wish I had some beers though, but probably better if I don't. You guys seen what happens if I drink too much? It's been a while since I drank that much, honestly. It was kind of a nightmare combination of everything. But I do want to appreciate real quick the people who hacked that password. Somebody else, two people hacked it independently, actually. I'll say you guys saved me. You might have saved the whole case. If I had been talking about that for weeks on podcasts, it would have been a complete destruction. The fact that we were able to break into that within just a couple of days was huge. Really huge. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The Greer thing was really good. That was a really good podcast. Definitely recommend, or whatever space. Definitely recommend checking that out. I think we've got some science to look into today. We've got some investigative stuff to do. This is the reason why I wanted to come on tonight. Let's see what I got. Think Punjabi Batman had something that was interesting as well. Also, there's a new Reddit out there. We're going to see how long it takes to get banned. I'm going to see how long it takes to get banned. Where's Punjabi Batman stuff? Okay, apparently Boeing is tracking their planes all the time. What the? I'm definitely never paying Wikipedia a cent. Wikipedia is garbage. That it seems like the person who did the scam was a Redditor. They were like a debunker. The evidence for them being the debunker is that they sent me the following email, which again, I'm going to tell you, do not open this website. Do not open this website here. If you open this website, you will see an anus staring at you. So do not open this website that I have linked here. But the fact that they sent this link with the anus, this is like it shows like the whole thing is they're trying to make fun of me for the my butthole doesn't look like your it looks like your butthole, but doesn't mean my butthole's your butthole scenario. And this means that they're like a corridor crew, Redditor, debunker, nut job. Now the thing is, this was sophisticated, man. This was really sophisticated. They did not expect us to crack into this that quickly. And then they freaked out when we cracked it that fast because they were thinking they were going to play this out for a while. They thought they were going to play this out for a while. Yeah. They sent me this. This was not a random person from India or scammer. This was not a Nigerian scammer. This was the complete psychopath nut jobs who've been stalking me. So you guys can see it. I'm not sending you guys this link. No. You guys can see it. Don't type it in there. Thanks, Adrian. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I've got a coffee machine. Yeah, you don't want to click on that link. Trust me. This was like, and then they sent me one more. This was like last night where we were streaming. Guys, Chris, chill out, man. We're going to move on when I say we're going to move on. I don't need peanut gallery comments about it, okay? I've got the stuff on here. Obviously, we're going to do real work tonight. Just recapping it because not everybody's up to speed. Okay, but yes, today we had the space with Dr. Greer. If anybody felt misled, I want to apologize that it wasn't just about me and Dr. Greer. I didn't think it was going to be about just me and Dr. Greer. I figured it would be a thing where he talks, and there ended up being a lot of people who were on the space talking. So, I didn't really ask a lot of questions, mostly because he actually answered a lot of the ones that I had already. He already answered a lot of the questions. So the only question I asked was about the technology and the implications of it. Why hasn't anyone else picked the story up? I think that Trump won. I think that's a pretty self-explanatory thing. The reason why no one's picked up the story is because this is the biggest conspiracy of all time. This conspiracy in general breaks the minds of many people. This is why so many people hate me, is just the implication of this being true cracks and completely breaks the minds of people and turns them psychotic. Because it means that everything they've ever been told in their lives is a lie. And it means they're not as smart as they think they are. It means that everything they've heard on Reddit is a lie. Like, the implications of this being true are that their whole lives are lies. That's far too much for most people. Did you even hear it on Kim.com today? We're going to replay that part, I think, on the space. Like, Kim.com is sitting here going, why don't the aliens just tell us how to cure cancer? Like, the dude is just not connecting with reality, man. Why don't the aliens come down and tell us how to cure cancer, guys? Is it really that simple? Is that what we got going on here? The aliens are just going to come down and teach us how to cure cancer? My man's just not really understanding the totality of the situation here. You don't put everything back into Pandora's box here, man. The moment you open Pandora's box and this technology is out there, everything's out there, right? This is the problem. The whole e-mule thing was a weird detail to add because I'd never even heard of e-mule. So the scammer came up with this old peer-to-peer location that existed. Like, this was really, really thought out. Very weird. James, I heard there was a couple of Chinese families angry about this narrative. No, that's not true. No families have ever reached out to me. No families have reached out to me negatively. What the families are angry about is that they've gotten no answer. They're suing the Chinese government. They should be suing the United States because the United States is directly implicated in the disappearance of the plane. How did nobody leak anything the whole time? You think Trump controls this information? The president does not control this information. Presidents are temporary employees. The people that control this information are the military-industrial complex. If you listen to Dr. Greer today, I agreed with a lot of the stuff he said, way more than I would have thought. The United States government's never going to admit this stuff to be true. Never. Never going to admit it to be true. They're going to be playing you guys. People that are out there thinking UFO disclosures coming, they're going to be playing you every single year. Never going to tell this stuff to be true. The only way this becomes true is that everybody agrees that it's true. We get to like 75% of people out there say that, yes, there's aliens visiting us, which good luck with that. Whenever we get to that point, then CNN will go ahead and admit it. Because the way that it works, a lot like how Reddit works, is that it's based on popularity. People believe whatever's popular, whatever makes them feel good, whatever all their peers are saying, right? Unfortunately, that's not how the truth works, but that's how popular consensus works, right? Okay, I'm going to grab coffee. I'll be right back. You guys can feel free to go, talk smack about one another or whatever. I'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to play part of this for you guys. How far was I? 36 minutes. I don't remember where the good...
We notice you...
I don't remember where the good part is. What is this? Why is there no way to skip this? This is part of Bob Greenier's thing. I hope I don't get copyright hit for this. I'll let you guys listen to this while I grab coffee. I'll be back in just a minute, okay?
Yeah. The overall structure changes the epsilon zero, the dielectric constant of the physical vacuum. And so the ability of charges to represent ordinarily changes. The speed of light changes and time changes. So it gets around many, many problems. So I think everyone can work out what's going on here, right? I'm the figure skater spinning around, right? And as I pull my mass in, my angular velocity has to speed up, right? Now, and here you have the gyroscopic effect. Okay? Very simple. Now, does anyone know what I'm going to see here? Now, what you've got to what you've got to imagine is that these are not washers, that they are electrons. And electrons have the Pauli exclusion principle. So as they are coming into the center of this well, they will force each other 180 degrees out of phase. If one's behind, it will be pushed more around that way, and when it reaches the equilibrium position, okay? And as it goes down and it's gaining velocity, To become coherent there, it's actually going to have to shed energy. And this is what happens as it's going into that phase singularity. It's shedding the energy. So what you end up producing is a topological monopole, okay? And this is exactly the structure. And in fact, they have done predictions, and using Bose-Einstein condensate gases at Aalto University, they have got actual images of what is produced. And the 3D model that I showed you earlier is better at showing the structures that they see from physical experiment than their own mathematical calculations. And it's much simpler, okay? But you have this central spin horizontal, the spin down, and you have this is the overall bubble of the structure, and this is the point of the phase singularity. This is the topological monopole. And everything is coming into here. Okay. Now, in a 1976 paper where they fired a laser pulse into a nonlinear plasma, they produced a magnetic field of over 1,000 Teslas. Okay? This was replicated, funded by the US Department of Energy, the European Union, the UK, China, South Korea, and Japan, and published in 2021. Here, the laser is going into the nonlinear plasma. You can see the flow pattern here is the magnetohydrodynamic flow pattern, okay? Okay. And what you are seeing here in red is 1.36 thousand Tesla. Now, the biggest magnet that's been produced on Earth is supposedly for magnetically confined fusion by MIT, and it's 50 Tesla. This is self-organizing with 1 femtosecond laser pulse into nonlinear plasma, 1.36 thousand Tesla. Now, imagine you had a resonant phenomena where it doesn't matter if you're only building a little bit at a time, you're building and building and building. It's like Tesla said, a snowball rolling down a mountain is getting bigger and bigger. Sooner or later, it will vanquish anything. Now, look at something also very interesting. In the center, we also have 1.36 thousand Teslas, okay? And it stops dead. It doesn't carry on through. It's exactly at the phase singularity. Now, we've already discussed gravity going through. This is a Gion from 1954 from this chap, John Archibald Wheeler, the guy that worked on the Manhattan Project.
Sorry, it was too loud.
He says this electromagnetic wave, a standing wave, which is basically what matter is, it's trapped light, right, is held together by a gravitational azimuth. That is a gravitational azimuth. So we have gravity coming through here. We have intense magnetic...
Okay, sweet. Yeah, there's a new Reddit as well I'm going to post for you guys to check out. What's it called? Airliner Abduct 2014. I'm not going to be a moderator on this, and I don't want to be a moderator. I don't want to be a subreddit moderator. I never wanted to be one. I did upvote a couple. I almost showed DMs. They removed my cross posts I put on here, but I don't really care. 23 people online, 110 moderate members already. We can maybe post some work on here as well, but we'll probably just let other people do it. I want to see how long before this place gets banned without me even being involved. The trolls are already on here as well. The trolls are already on here following us. Eve, I have not served in the military, but I have a clearance, so I work with people who are in the military, or were in the military. Both of them, I guess. Bob Greenier is awesome. Bob Greenier feels like he figured it out, and he doesn't have any kind of clearance or NDA, so he can just say whatever he wants, which I like. There was parts of this I wanted to clip.
And we have a toroidal moment.
Toroidal moment. Problem is his microphone didn't work here.
We have a toroidal.
So we're gonna have to deal with this another time, though. Let me see. Move the science stuff over here for now. What's this? So this was, I think I want to first, what do we want to do? What sequence do we want to do stuff today? Let me find my notes. We're going to do a little science tonight. We're going to do a little bit of work. Oh, nice. Wakeful Panda. Yeah, I haven't recognized you. Awesome. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. You can see we have a lot of scientific stuff to cover. I feel like just in a few days, I feel like my understanding of electrical engineering advanced like 2 years, like school years worth. It helps when we already know, like, you know the answer, what you're trying to get to. It makes it a lot easier. I still got a lot of pieces that I didn't push out either, like a lot. Record of trial. I don't know what this. Oh, Edward C. Lynn. Something like that. Oh, we want to FOIA everybody as well. We're going to FOIA everybody tonight. We're going to FOIA them all. I'm not doing the Book of Nakamoto stuff. Sorry, Q-Star and on. I can't do any more weird crap anymore. After the last sophisticated attack on me, I can't risk any more weird stuff. Bob Greenier was threatened because of the U.S. Navy because of his research. Wouldn't surprise me. No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay, if you guys want to help out, I know there's a lot of people out there that want to help out. The stuff that I could use the most help with is if you can find any clips of anybody who's talking about portals or wormholes, or, you know, from the scientific perspective, or teleportation, or like the Tucker Carlson clip, any of stuff like that. Honestly, anything Tucker Carlson where he's talking about UFO stuff is also just big in general, especially when it comes to like the implications of UFOs. Because his stuff, just a lot of people respect him and look up to him. It's funny because I used to hate Tucker Carlson. Just to, like, full disclosure, I used to be CNN brain myself, like 10 years ago or more, and I used to believe all the bullshit myself. And so I used to hate Tucker Carlson after the Jon Stewart thing where he was on Crossfire with Tucker Carlson. And it's amazing how I've even gone just a full 180.
One of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all
I need clips like this
at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression. You know, parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out. The implications are too profound. And so,
like, what do people think he's talking about here? What can people possibly think he's talking about here? To me, he has to be talking about, like, we are, like, engineered, like we might be like on a prison planet, we might be on like a farm planet, like we're cattle, might be that the world gets reset. Like, that's like the only stuff I can even thinking about. Or the teleportation, right? Technology is just too hard to understand.
I've heard things where I'm just like, oh man, I don't even really want to know that, honestly.
Deeply disturbing stuff. You know, forget like saucers and technology. It's deeply disturbing.
So
stuff that
Tucker's been on fire with this. Also, anything you could find from like Burchett. Like, I know Burchett has been on a lot of stuff as well. He's been on. I'm not doing Michael Herrera's story. Not that. Michael Herrera's fine. It's too woo. I need stuff that's not woo. I need stuff that's solid. But yeah, so yeah, if you can find me stuff like that, that would be great. I need video clips, short ones, 1 to 3 minutes. If you guys want to help with that. So what should we do here? I think the phone call is the first thing we want to address, right? I'm going to leave the subreddit up here if you guys want to join that subreddit. This is a good one. We're gonna use this. Okay, this is what we need right here. They only called the plane twice. Someone walk me through that. Guys, if you don't think Tucker is a legit journalist, then you might need to watch less CNN. He's probably the most credible investigative journalist on the planet right now. Which is not saying much. Let's just be honest. It's not saying much. Investigative journalism is essentially dead. He got a kiss from Roseanne. What the fuck? Dude, he's ripped. Jake Chansley's ripped. Does he just go out like dressed like this all the time? Trumping Point USA. Huh. Okay, that's not doing what I wanted to do. Damn, he's ripped though. What was I doing again? Oh yeah, I was gonna make a post. The reptilians are among us. I can't tell if they're being coy with this reptilian thing or not. Yeah, America Shaman, dude. The Greer space. Every single space I do blows me away. Yeah, Dan Winters. Did it see on my list? Damn, wearing a WEF pin. You're never going to see me wearing a WEF pin. I'll guarantee you that. I'm not even into all that, but I'm still never going to... I still know enough not to wear it. I think Roseanne Barr... Okay, we got to sidetrack, guys. Sorry, I don't like to sidetrack, but we got to sidetrack. This is a super weird clip. Hopefully this is the right one.
Schools teach kids hate their country. Demonstrate party quote. Trump.
I don't know who this is.
Play it.
Hello? Sound?
I can't hear it, Rob.
Sound?
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
We can't hear it.
Sound, please.
Program you're
Can
under,
you
Bill.
play it back from the beginning, Rob? Thanks, buddy.
No wonder I don't remember this.
No shit, you blocked it out, MK Ultra.
Who's that?
That's the mind control program you're under, Bill.
MK Ultra?
Yeah.
So who's Klaus Schwab?
The head of the WEF.
Bill Maher is pretending like he doesn't know who Carl Schwab is. I'm not even into conspiracies, and even I know Carl Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum.
What's that?
What's that? What's the WEF? Who's that? Bill Maher, what? Why are you pretending like you don't know? This dude runs a political talk show every Friday where he has people from all over the world and announce people. Like, he's probably had people like Carl Schwab and WF members on his show like regularly. He takes a drink like, who's that? Roseanne just can't believe what she's even hearing.
Google it.
Google it. Roseanne, I love you. I want to talk to you, Roseanne.
He really does, Pat. That's not like an act. He acts like he doesn't know.
Even these guys are like, I don't even know what this podcast is. Even these guys can't believe it. Look at this
Do you
dude.
think he's acting like he doesn't
No.
know, or do you think he knows? But
He knows 100%.
He knows Klaus.
He is.
Why is he playing dumb? Why is he playing dumb? That is the weirdest clip, man. That is the weirdest clip, man. I can't decide if I don't understand if the world's just controlled by the elites, or I really can't figure it out, guys. I'm trying not to fall. Let me turn this light on. What's the WEF, man? What's the WEF? You think if I Google WEF, like we're gonna get some other hit on the top? I'm pretty sure we Google WEF, it's gonna be the top hit, man. Pretty sure WEF. Yeah, it's right there at the top. I don't know, man. Even I'm not like conspiracy minded as many people. But even I, like, if you just follow any of what's happening and what people are saying, you should know what they're talking about with WEF, man. That is just, man, that clip is up there with Don Lemon. You think he's playing dumb because it's Roseanne? Maybe, man. No, I'm not saying Tucker's not part of the elite class. Tucker definitely is, but he's also getting information out there, you know? That's why I said, I mean, it's investigative journalism. As much as investigative journalism exists, which it's not much. It's not much, guys. We're doing more investigative journalism than all mainstream media combined. That's not really me being egotistical. That's just the reality of what we're doing. It's like, I hope when they talk about this and they make future documentaries about this, that they realize that we're doing more work than all mainstream media combined. Like, when was the last time you guys even saw an investigative journalist piece on any mainstream media channel at all? Like an original one. Like, I don't know. I haven't had TV for like 8 years, so I don't know. I could show you guys my TV sitting right over there, but it doesn't have cable. I'm gonna do investigation updates. We might change this now so that's more specific. Okay, this one has been a piece that NC Boy has been digging into, but Punjabi Batman also figured it out. So who should I credit, NC Boy or Punjabi Batman? Yeah, Taylor Swift, never heard of it. What's a Taylor Swift? Carl Schwab's greatest hits. I don't know if that's going to be. If I look up Carl Schwab's greatest hits, I feel like YouTube's going to cancel me. I got to do it now though. Klaus Schwab's greatest hits. Oh man, this is not going to be good. This is.
You heard Klausy McSchwab's first 2 records.
Vaccines back, all right. You know nothing.
I don't even care. I don't even care if I get canceled.
Modified mRNA tingle. Time Lies presents Greatest Schwabs, Volume 15.
I'm gonna get canceled, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the unvaccinated are still alive. A little bit of Pfizer in my arm. A little bit of Biden.
I'm gonna get canceled. I'm gonna get fucking
canceled.
canceled.
Johnson does the trick. A little AstraZeneca so you don't get sick.
Okay, I'm gonna get canceled. I'm gonna stop. Please, YouTube, don't cancel me. We gotta keep the investigation going, guys. We gotta keep the investigation going. We can't watch that. We can't watch that. It's Klaus. I know. I was calling him Carl. Klaus Schwab. See, I'm not even good at. Obviously, I'm not even into it. Yikes. I'm surprised that's allowed on YouTube. I'm actually literally surprised. I'm surprised that's allowed on YouTube. Yeah, that's how you get demonetized on YouTube. That's how you get your YouTube channel shut down. Oh, by the way, I think I decided we're gonna do an explainer video on the drone video, and we're just gonna call out Lockheed Martin. At this point, I'm just 100% sure it's Lockheed Martin. I'm ready to just go all in on these orbs being Lockheed Martin. I was like pretty damn sure before, and then I listened to Dr. Greer and listened to everybody else, and I'm just like, this is Lockheed Martin, man. Lockheed Martin Skunk Works. Staring at it. I'm calling it. Show the cards. I want to see. All in. These orbs are Lockheed Martin. I wonder if we can tie anybody on this plane to Lockheed Martin. You think we can tie somebody on this plane to Lockheed Martin? I'm really feeling like the save my plane card is the move here. This is not aliens we're looking at. I'm sorry, guys. We're not looking at aliens here. These little orbs are not aliens, man. There's no aliens inside this orb. This is, you can see the heat signature on the side of it. This is Lockheed Martin. Just, I'm sure this is Lockheed Martin. Skunk orbs. I can't believe this is real. The crazy part is, like, I wouldn't have been able to believe this at first, but everything adds up to it being real. I've even got scientists, engineers, all the previous UFO people like Dr. Greer, who I didn't even know about all this stuff. I'm sitting there listening to it, and then once he starts talking about pointing vectors and teleportation on the thing, I'm like, holy crap. I didn't know he was talking about teleportation. I mean, what? You guys, hold on. Sidetrack. MH370 Lockheed Martin. Can we find a direct link? Passengers. Can we find any direct link to Lockheed Martin from the passengers? When I look this up, or is this all stuff about the plane wreckage? Okay, DuckDuck. We got to use DuckDuckGo, guys. Google is not doing it. DuckDuckGo. I wonder if there's a way to connect the Freescale Semiconductor scientists to Lockheed Martin. Oh, there's also a microchip. I think we're ready to go all in on this microchip being in the cargo. Not sure yet. I need to pull that back up. I need NC Boy to help us out with the microchip. There might be a microchip in there. See, this is, look at how different the search is. Look how different the search is. Fact check? Jeez. Is there anything less reliable than a fact check? Greer said like 3 of his people were killed in the 90s. That's pretty dark. Doesn't bode well for me, guys. Doesn't bode well. I guess this is probably a good time to say I'm not suicidal as well, just to be safe, since we're talking about Lockheed Martin on stream. I'm not suicidal. I'm very happy. I don't plan to die suddenly. I wink. So I don't see anything directly tying them. Why is everything about... What the heck? We need to find something that connects. The other 3 Americans on board were children. Hey, UFO chick, you missed out on all the drama. Turns out this was some kind of elaborate scam by like the debunkers. They created an elaborate social engineering prank, if you want to call it a prank. Not really. It's a fraudulent scam. It's a criminal act. And we ended up catching it because somebody broke into, we decrypted the password within like 2 days. They definitely didn't expect us to break in that fast. They thought it would take weeks, if not months. They intentionally sent us a fake password that was like missing numbers, and one of the letters was different. And because we broke in, we were able to get ahead of it. And actually, now they've discredited all future debunks too. Because now, anytime anyone comes up with some random debunk, then we can go and point to the extreme lengths they were willing to go to falsify evidence against the case. I mean, they had to have developed an elaborate plan for trying to fool me with this weird RAR file thing. That was weird, nutso psych. That's like Saw, like the movie Saw level psychopath stuff. Like really nut job stuff. It was probably a group of people too, not just one person. Like literal insane shit. Nah, Lockheed Martin's on this level. They're definitely on this level, man. Have you never heard Ben Rich? Yeah, I mean, if you haven't heard Ben Rich, he literally just says it. This was like 10 years ago. Oh no, this was... When did he say this, guys?
Let's start with Lockheed Skunk Works.
Ben Rich was the head of the Lockheed Skunk Works and acknowledged towards
There's
the end
Greer
of
right
his
there.
period there that they had technologies that could, quote, take ET home. He also stated there were no private conversations anywhere on the earth, true, no matter what your encryption.
No private conversations anywhere on the earth, no matter what your encryption is. There you go.
Is. And also he said that anything you imagine, we have already done at the Skunk Works. This
I mean, how much more do you need, man? You really still don't think Lockheed Martin has this? You still don't think Lockheed Martin has this? Lockheed Martin Freescale? Good call. Ooh, it shows up. What? They compete? By the way, how is my... let's figure out how my investment's doing, guys. Just so the SEC doesn't come after me. I have invested in... Oh, my God. 232? Oh, wow. Don't worry about the scam, folks. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Guys who didn't listen to me when I said to invest in... Oh, wait. I didn't... this is not investment advice, just to be 100% clear if the SEC is watching. I invested in this company, I don't know, over a month ago, a couple months ago probably. After I realized that Freescale Semiconductors is probably Freescale Superconductors, I invested in NXP. Just so that I'm clear, this is not investment advice. But usually when lines go up like this, usually that's a good thing. I got in somewhere around here. In this range right here. And now it's up here. Just saying. Semiconductors seem like a good investment. That's all I'm saying. Seems like a good investment to put your money in the companies where all the rich elite people put their money. Just saying. Just saying. I kind of want to send this to some of the people that were talking crap about me when I mentioned that this company might be a superconductor company. But I won't. Freescale Semiconductor receives Ethics Award. War never changes. I would definitely play some Fallout clips right now, but they would get us for copyright. This is weird. Where's Lockheed in this? Lockheed Martin won an ethical behavior award. That's ridiculous. Hello. Holy. There's a board of director who used to work for Lockheed Martin. Became board of directors at Freescale. Guys, maybe I'm in the wrong contractor. Maybe I should be a contractor through Lockheed Martin and not through my company. Huh. Interesting. Turns out, no, this isn't just because of war. This is... Let's look at this. Let's look this one up. Their revenue is way bigger than 10 billion. How do you guys think Lockheed Martin's I wonder what they're privately held, or no, they got to be public, right? God, what's their stock? What's their market cap? 100 billion. Huh. NXP is worth half of Lockheed Martin. Wow. What, Northrop Grumman? 65 billion. Huh. Hey, Twitchy QL. Nah. Twitchy, I hate to thank you very for the $10, but I have to say, I guarantee you they can crack encryption. Yes, they can crack it. They don't need a backdoor, man. It's called quantum computers. They'll crack right through any of your, yeah, quantum computers will crack through any of your encryption. It doesn't matter at all. Yeah, see everybody in the chat saying the same thing that I was saying. Quantum computers will crack it. Quantum computers are, the way it's been kind of sold to me is it's probability-based computing. It's like taking the wave function, and now you can just probabilistically figure out what the password might be. I mean, it's like cheating. I don't really know how else to describe it. If you can teleport a plane, there is nothing that can be encrypted. That's the wild part. That's the crazy part about it. Okay. I don't know who to credit here. I guess we don't need to credit anyone. Is it Inmarsat logs? I don't know. How has this not been made public knowledge? $23.13. It looks like, does that say 23.13? Oh, we watched the aerogel thing the other day. Aerogel's amazing. 23.13. Let's do like this. Let's move this up. Hey, is it Ellie or L? Hey, Dorian. Hey, UFO chick Paige. What's up? Yeah, Salvatore Pius saw the orbs and said that's AI, like right away. People tried to talk me down from it being AI as well. Excuse me, I'm speaking. Greer's so arrogant. I loved when Greer said that. I gained even more respect for him. And then when Kim's like, well, you were talking over me and got super salty about it, I was just cracking up. It felt like the UFO spaces, the middle school ones where people were getting angry at one another. And then Greer goes, is this space about me or not? It's Ellie. Oh, Ellie. Okay, we got you, Ellie. Yeah, I don't even know what SHA-256 even is. But quantum will break everything. Quantum computer. I like how we just randomly, casually talk about quantum computers without the implication of quantum entanglement, quantum teleportation, macroscopic teleportation. The fact that we just casually have quantum computers and we're like, oh yeah, nothing else is possible. Like, dude, we have quantum computers? Yeah, no, when Greer was talking smack to Kim.com, it definitely felt like a UFO space. I kind of miss the UFO spaces. We haven't had one in a while. Like one where it's just middle school people just yelling at each other, viscerally angry. The closest it's come is the, this is going to be pretty cringy, but it was UFO Mike. Is it just UFO Mike? Twitter? I Googled UFO Mike and it instead comes up Mick West. What? What's his name? Isn't it UFO Mike? I don't follow him, but I don't have him blocked either. Guys, what's his name? UFO Mike? Help me out. Help me out, folks. Oh, UAP Mike. Okay. This is as close as it gets. I got my taste. Is that UAP Mike? No, I don't know who this is. Where's this clip? Did he take it down? Where is it? Dude, this dude posts a lot of stuff, man. These people, like, man, they make the whole, like, this UFO stuff is their whole lives. Look at this guy. It's a cult. This guy is such a nut job, dude. This UAP Mike guy. Like, these people, they've made their whole personalities around the UFO phenomenon. Like, they're just completely obsessed with me. You know this guy's a Redditor. I mean, look at this guy's thing. UFO nerd, UAP tool, NASA fugitive, no good, cancel queen, Lou crew, assetless, culprit, dented, drooling, sycophant, necromancer. You couldn't come up with a more cringe bio if you tried. You literally couldn't. Has like 20 tweets in the last 19 hours. The fact that this person's trying to put anybody else down. Imagine being this much of a loser. Jesus, man. And just to add to it, where's this thing? Did he delete it? Here it is. I mean, this is just Redditor.
I didn't even approach it.
Listen to these losers, dude. Like, listen to these losers. They approach Project Unity, who's also a loser, but whatever. Like, this is just Redditors meeting in real life.
What would you expect me to do?
Like, he's not even filming his face because they're so cringe.
Why would I? Dude, are you fucking 14?
I would love to fucking knock you out.
I would love to. I'm sure you would. I really would. I'm sure you would. Except you won't. Because you're a coward. Because you're a
I
coward.
can't. Why would you ever get in a confrontation like this? Who gets in a confrontation like
your anonymous
this?
buddy who asked for my last name.
Why do I owe you?
You don't.
Who I find it?
You don't. You can go back inside.
I don't need your permission to go.
I didn't approach. I'm telling you right now, you can walk away.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I won't bother you again because I think you're a pussy.
Yikes.
And I think that honestly,
bro, if you think I'm a pussy, fucking come at me right now.
Absolutely. I got no problem, man.
God, these people are such losers. My God, these people are losers. Yikes. Those are the people that try to talk smack about us, huh? Okay. People have never produced anything to society in their whole lives. That's the level of sycophant we're dealing with, folks. I mean, that's when like two Redditors meet in real life. That was literally the comment I put on there. I was looking at Twitter and that showed up on my home space thing, and I'm just like, my God, no, there's no testosterone there. It's more like estrogen. That's like a little cat fight. They would. That's like the kind of fight that would happen where they would fight and nobody would end up hurting anybody. No one would end up getting hurt. Oh man, cringe. That's a bunch of people that probably didn't even. I don't even know. Just wow. Oh, UFO community, man. UFO community. No, they're not even gym bros. I've got actual stuff to do. Like, I would just walk. I would be like the person that's like walking between them. Be like, hey, can you guys take your fake fight over to the corner where I can just get past real quick? Oh, man. Okay, I think we're good with this. I think it's the Immerstat logs, right? Can anyone confirm this? Oh, yeah, Jay is a weirdo, man. Jay's a real weirdo. Like, I had a good interview with him, and then for some reason he just, like, came at me in the investigation for no reason whatsoever. None at all. And he just got destroyed in his own comments, and he just had a total meltdown. He started retweeting all his own replies to people that were raging at people, and then had one of those super cringe things where he's like, and I'm not even going to bother replying to people anymore. Just a quick note to Jay of the Unity. Never tweet or reply to somebody saying that you're not going to reply to people. Just don't reply. The moment you try to say how like you're above it, even though you're clearly not, like that's just like you just shown that you're a loser. Right? Imagine if I was like replying to people who are angry at me and then like made a reply about how I'm not going to reply to people who are angry at me. It's super cringe. The same thing happens to everybody. Everybody who tries to attack us, like they just get a dose of reality. They just get a huge dose of reality. They live in their own little bubbles and then they get the dose of reality. It's bizarre, man. Bizarre. I think that a lot of people have their whole personalities tied to the UFO community, right? It's their whole personality. It's like when I used to play World of Warcraft, like people get too into it, right? Where like their whole world is the game and they tie their whole personality to the game and it gets very personal for people. It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. I don't know who David Feldman is, but whatever. It helps that I was never part of any of these communities because I don't get any of it, and I just don't care for any of it. He blocked a lot of his own followers. It's like it's the same thing happens to all the people that come after us. Like they just get exposed. It's part of the reason why I stream everything so that you can't so that people can't make up false narratives. I played on Horde all the time. I always Horde. I'd never play on Alliance. Never. Horde for life. Horde for life. I'm definitely not in my own bubble, that's for sure. Definitely not. I'd say that the debunkers are the ones who are living in a fake reality of their own creation. When was the last time a debunker talked to a real scientist? Probably never in their whole life. It's amazing how many people are VFX experts too. My God. You'd think all of Reddit's a VFX expert. Turns out you can lie on the internet pretty easily. You knew I was Horde, Ellie? How do you know I was Horde? Loktar Ogar. Yeah. I played, what was it, Classic? Oh, tomorrow, speaking of nerd stuff, I got to play some Pokemon Go tomorrow. I haven't played Pokemon Go in a long time, but like there's some kind of thing going on where you can get special moves on your guys. I used to be really hardcore into Pokemon Go. I was like one of the like super legit players in my area. Shane, buddy, get some help, Shane. Like you're getting yourself blocked for no reason, Shane. Like I don't know why like you think you can talk like that in my streams. It's just wild, man. These are the people that get mad when they get blocked. Shane, get a life. Grow up, man. Go somewhere else. Go do something else. Go be productive for once in your life, Shane. Anything else. Just stop obsessing over me. Do whatever the hell else you want to do. I'm never going to date you. I'm never going to go out with you, whatever you want. Like, you guys are just completely mental cases. I've never once felt the need to go tell, like, imagine if I went going around to every debunker telling them how they're wrong with their debunks. Like, it's nut job stuff. It's literally psychotic. If it didn't bother you, you wouldn't be here. So just go do something else, man. My God, these people. This is why, like, I don't think it was worthwhile to even unblock everybody. I knew I'd end up just reblocking most of the people anyway. I've never seen a community more obsessed with somebody in my whole life. Never seen a community so obsessed with me in my whole life. And not just obsessed, but like scary, man. Scary obsessed to the point of like legit stalking behavior and scamming. I'm sure they've been putting out the fake debunks too. Like these people are mentally unhinged. They just project all of their insecurities as well. That's the craziest part. Yeah, I mean, that goes to tell you. So Robert, I'll move the chat over here as well. Robert, exactly, right? Why haven't the debunkers gone to try to find the hoaxer, right? Of course they're not, because they know there's no hoaxer. In the back of their minds, they know that there's no hoaxer, right? They know there's no hoaxer. Otherwise, they'd be trying to find him. They've got people, like there's literally people pretending to be the hoaxer as well. That's how off the rocker some of these people are. And of course, they'll see stuff like that and they don't even question it. They won't even question it. Like... They don't even question how somebody found some random clouds that are like resized and mirrored. They just immediately take it at face value, right? These are the same people who think that like, oh, it was such an obvious scam when you had some super elaborate social engineering scam that was run on me. But then they get somebody who's like, I found some clouds and like, oh, yep, this person must be it. Oh, it's totally debunked. It's wild, man. The debunkers do not put themselves to even the fraction of the level of scrutiny that they do for other people. Okay, I think, does this look good? Could the hoaxer be dead? I mean, it hasn't been 100 years, man. Do you think the hoaxer was like 80 years old when they made the hoax? Like, come on, man. The hoaxer dead? Why would the hoaxer be dead, man? Did the guy LARPing as the hoaxer actually ask for $2,000 to recreate the videos? That's hilarious, man. That would actually be funny if somebody scammed the debunkers. Yeah, it was a scam. It was a social engineering scam. They had a fake PDF. I mean, they had everything. It was pretty wild, man. The Caleb files. I'm glad that we hacked that early, because if not, I would have really hurt the case. But we were able to move on right away, and we're actually able to use it now to dismiss any future debunks as well, because they've shown how insane these people are. So. Oh, I'm not Intrepid Soul. I'm not saying that everybody in the UFO community is screwballs. I go to spaces with a lot of people. There's a lot of people who I think are, and I don't care what people believe either, man. I mean, I sit there and listen to people talking about angels and beings that are talking to them, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I don't ever feel the need to debunk them. I never feel the need to debunk them. You can tell there's a difference between people who are respectful and people who are not respectful. There's a lot of people in the UFO community who are clearly dishonest and have dishonest intent, right? A lot. And a lot who've tied their own emotions to their opinions. And then you have people who are honest, like, God, what was his name, guys, in the chat earlier? Is he still in there? God, how come I can't remember his name right now? It's in the tip of my tongue. I think he went to sleep already too. Yeah, he's not in there anymore. God. Like, I don't know. In the space that we were in earlier, you guys probably heard it. I wasn't streaming it. What was the guy's name? Oh, Bruce. Like, people like Bruce who've looked into this stuff, and he's like, yeah, these different species are coming or whatever. It's like, he's obviously like a legit guy who's just a nice person, right? There's a lot of people in the UFO community who are nice, but there's I would argue it's like 50-50. Half the UFO community is just off their rocker. And I don't mean off their rocker like the stuff they believe in. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like off their rocker, like they need to be on meds because like they're just vicious and terrible people. Some of them I think are dishonest as well. Okay, I want to get this pushed out real quick. Seems good. You guys see anything wrong in here? I need to be nicer, otherwise I'll scared off the aliens with disclosure. Debunked, let it go. How many messages like this have we gotten, guys? So many. Here, I'll let it go for you. There, it's gone. It's gone now. I've never seen so many nut jobs attacking somebody because they're investigating something that they think is fake. I've never seen it in my whole life. What we've put together has literally broken people's brains. It's actually broken people's brains. They look at the evidence, right? And they can't comprehend that they've been lied to. And then this is where cognitive dissonance takes over, right? Cognitive dissonance takes over and says, this can't be true. This can't be true. It's got to be, CNN's got to be right. CNN told me. It's like, wow, man. I've never seen anything like this. Like the psychology classes should do like case studies about this and how this has just broken people's minds. Thank you, IndoWars. It's just wild. If I like saw something and realized and I was like, oh, it's been debunked now, I would never talk about the topic ever again. I would just move on to other stuff in my life. But that just never happens with the debunkers because it's not about that, right? Anyway, here's the link. There you guys go. This is a pretty good post. Won't get a lot of attention because the video posts get the most attention. For sure. The video posts get the most attention. Okay, Everstat logs, Everstat calls. I probably shouldn't drink any more coffee, but I want to stay up for a little bit longer. I'm going to probably have to go get one more coffee. Do a little intermission. See, where was the monopoles section? Supposed to be a monopoles section in this. Monopoles. We might have to read Maxwell's equations next. I don't know what the deal with the Bartcoin stuff is. I stayed out of it. I stayed out of the Bartcoin stuff. The last thing I want to do is have the SEC come at me. That's the last thing I want. They're basically studies on how this is breaking people's mind. Diana Poloska would not surprise me. This might be part of the reason why they literally don't tell people, because I think it would actually break people's minds. I think a lot of people would have their minds broken by this. I'm not sure about the pilot receiving a call ahead of time. Yeah, confirmation bias is wild. Honestly, the debunkers are the ones suffering from confirmation bias, right? You want to see Exhibit A on confirmation bias? Like when we put stuff out there, our stuff never says 100% proven, blah, 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 right? Like our stuff is like, here's some evidence for what might have happened to the plane, right? That's not confirmation bias. This is confirmation bias. First satellite video fully debunked. Source for clouds found. Like, this is confirmation bias. If this was unbiased, you would just say, hey, I found some images that seem to have clouds that are similar to the videos. That's what it would say. Like, if I made a post like, video's 100% real, blah, 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 people would rail on me, right? Because that would be confirmation bias. In fact, they did when I was falling for the scam, right? This is confirmation bias. A 6-day-old account making a post called satellite video fully debunked. And no one asks a single question about it, right? No one asks a single question. Oh yeah, you randomly found some clouds that have been changed. Oh yeah, makes total sense. Makes total sense. I mean, they've already proved the clouds are moving. That's okay. We'll just ignore that. Just ignore the fact that we already proved 2 days ago that the clouds are moving. And it literally can't be a two-dimensional background. I mean, we ignore the fact that it would take a 3D rendered environment to make what we're looking at. Just completely ignore that. We found some clouds that look the same. But don't ask how. Don't ask how they don't exist in any torrents. We have torrents of the entire website. Every single picture in the entire website. Somehow those pictures are missing. What a coincidence. It just goes to show that the people on the debunker side, like scamming them is a lot easier than scamming me. Takes almost nothing. They're willing to believe anything they think might be fake. Okay, guys, I'll be right back in a few minutes. I'm going to see if I can grab one more coffee. Yeah, the word officially, too. I mean, that really adds to it, right? 6-day-old Reddit account. Officially debunked. Total nonsense. It goes to show how easy some people are misled by disinformation. Confirmation bias. That's the definition. Let's look up the definition of it. The tendency of people to favor information that confirms or strengthens their beliefs and or values that is difficult to dislodge once affirmed. There you go. That explains the debunkers to a T. They're sure it's debunked, right? But they continue to look into it. If they were sure it was debunked, they wouldn't be here anymore, right? They'd be gone. But nope. They keep coming back because they got to try to convince everybody else. Because, yeah. Anyway, I'll be right back. Mission's over. Did I get a knock on the door? Nah. Should we show dog, though? Let's show dog. Show dog. Uh-oh. Come here, doggus. Oh, you water doggus. Yeah, I'm gonna trick her. I'm gonna trick her by giving her a treat. Maybe she won't freak out. Did my camera go off? No. Treatos. She likes treats. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Oof. Okay, we got her on the first try. Oh. 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 We got her. Dodge cam. I don't know if this chair is built for this much weight. Oh, such dodge. Wow, such dodge. Such dodge. She looks huge, but she's not that big. Oh, such dog. Oh. Okay. Let's show them how big you are. Oh, such dodge-o. Good girl. Dodge cam. Okay. Good girl. Come here. Yeah, that's a wolf. That's a wolf. We call her a little wolf because she looks like a wolf. Why does Ashton talk to himself and stare at the wall? Lulu, come here. Come here. Yeah, she looks like a baby wolf. She's like 9 years old, 8 years old. Every time people see her, they're always like, oh my God, she's so pretty. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't control that. I rescued her from some people. Now that Dodge cam just gained like another 10 viewers. People love the Dodge cam. Maybe I should just have an extra camera that's always looking at her. Okay. I want to clip part of the Greer space. I also want to clip something from this Bob Greenier interview, but I don't know what part to clip from this. If somebody wants to dig in and try to get a clip from this, that sounds pretty good. The problem with Bob's stuff is it starts to make sense for me now. Like, the science is too deep for normies. It was too deep for me, too. It's still too deep for me. We need something that normies can absorb, you know? That normies can absorb. It can't be too deep. Dude, the amount of people that like message me and ask me for information and evidence, like, just read my stuff, look through it, you know? Like, I'm not at everyone's beck and call. Yes, this is pretty interesting. Let's reply. Man, are they all just blonde? Can you change the type of shrug guy? Do I have to be a blonde white person? I want to diversify. Okay. Like, this is one of the biggest pieces of evidence we've found to date. This is wild, man. I can't believe more people weren't like, this only got 71,000 views. This should have like 1 million views. This is nuts. This rejected her FOIA for national defense purposes. Asking about MH370. What the hell could it be? Why would there be a national defense protection against MH370? What the hell? This space is pretty epic.
Concept. They're complex and clarity. One of the it's sort of a theorem that I've come up with, and that is
we need to listen to a few minutes of this.
Terrestrial, interstellar civilizations are transdimensional.
Okay, I don't.
Not the CI director, but his wife asked me, who was the chief operating officer of the National Academy of Sciences in Washington, I'm about to say, by conventional science people. But I said, look, if you've asked this question, it's too slow, because if you're from the Andromeda galaxy, which is something supernatural,
this is what I want.
or as people would say, paranormal sort of meetings, I let the person I'm briefing drive it by what they ask. So in this case, I
think this is it right here.
Said, well, the speed of light is...
Okay, 2630. Let's make notes. There it is. Speed of light is too slow. I love that quote. I love that. 2630. Let's see how long.
Too slow, because if you're from the Andromeda galaxy, which is 2.5 million light years from here, and our team has had a contact with a very senior ambassador from that galaxy, whom we...
Okay, well, that clip is a little weird.
But if you are communicating, let's say you're here near Earth and you send a signal back, at the speed of what you and I are using right now, that would take 2.5 million years to get there at the speed of light. That's 186,000 miles per second. Now, for them to reply and say, good, how are you doing today, bud? That's another 2.5 million years. So that just took 5.
Just real quick, I wish he hadn't said the thing about his ambassadors from the Andromeda galaxy. I wish he hadn't said that part. That part kind of makes it a little too much in the woo. Like, if he had just said the stuff about the speed of light, that would be a lot better.
Million Earth years. We know that, therefore, the electromagnetic field of speed and the speed of matter, let's say electrons, subatomic particles, all of that has to be transcended to go from point A to point B, interstellar. And that's why all interstellar civilizations that are extraterrestrial, that are near us or have discovered us, have to have mastered trans-dimensional physics and trans-dimensional sciences. Now, we'll get into that in a moment, because it's critically important to, I think, one of the issues I was brought to my attention of why I'm speaking today.
Maybe we'll do the pointing
about various technologies.
Ambassadors from Andromedas.
So if you're, and let's say you have an interstellar spacecraft that's 300 football field in diameter size, and you're going from one star system to another in this with a group, you're not going to go at the speed of light, and you're not going to go in a straight line. You're going to, basically, the technology bends space-time like you would bend a piece of paper. So if you put 2 points on a piece of paper...
I'm also pretty sure it doesn't bend space-time that way, but maybe it could, right?
And then fold the piece of paper so those 2 points are right there. That's basically, you're bending space-time through the physics they're using, and you are then traversing, not linearly in a line through space, but trans-dimensionally. What does that actually mean? It means you're traversing through other dimensions.
One thing I thought when I was listening to him as well is that syntax, the words we use, is very important. When you start talking about trans-dimensional travel, this throws people off.
And when you are doing so, your physical
normal people can't.
The very high voltage systems around them cause it to drop out of linear space-time. But when it's not in a solid, quote unquote, materialized form, it is actually traversing something very, very close to what the mystics would call the astral dimension, or the worlds of light. And it can stay in that state even when
when you start talking about the astral dimension, on the Earth. Like, just heads up, guys, if you want people to take you seriously, don't mention astral dimensions.
So it wouldn't be visible or detected by any radar or even...
And I say this as somebody who respects Dr. Greer.
Or advanced sensors. So we'll get into all this later, a little bit later, I hope, if we have time. But the key thing is to understand is that when they're in that form, they would, to the untrained eye, let's say, they would... Now, what's happened is that there are many, many phenomena, plural,
I want the science,
the
man.
Same thing, alien.
When did he talk about...
Now, their communication systems are, let's call it internodal. Let's say thought. And we call, 1,000 light years away. So instead of it taking 1,000 years at the speed of light, it's instant. So that is being done, but it's.
If Dr. Greer ends up being right about all this stuff, boy, a lot of people will owe him a lot of apologies. The way he talks about it, he talks so matter-of-factly, right? Like he just knows for sure.
There's a scientific interface, and it goes both ways. There are technologies that assist consciousness, so you can be in that state. And those quanta of thought, specific. Not just every random thought. You have to actually connect to it with intentionality and put your attention on it.
Just real quick, guys, like how I was a speaker in this with Keemstar, Kim.com, John Mappin here. He's got 200,000 followers. Like, I'm just like a speaker this whole time with these guys. Like, it's pretty wild, man.
Some of them also require.
For the record, I could have asked more questions if I wanted to. It could have been rude or something like that. But like, he actually answered most of my questions.
To touch the console or to touch a part of the craft, so that there's a sort of a
everything I wanted to know, he was already asking.
Consciousness field that assists with it, somewhere on the order of 1 billion years ahead of where we are. So I think it runs.
What's this? Indowars, thank you. Agent died FAA flight 1979.
The gamut. And if you look at the sky at night,
sidetracked, man.
Every stable star system out there has planets around it, and there's some types of creatures around each one. So the universe is teeming with life, actually. It's not empty.
I'm trying to find the Poynting vector.
But that doesn't mean they're all operating the same technology that you and I are. And one of the problems that we run into with the human experience with this is the tragic anthropocentric projection. In other words, we project onto other species. You see people do this with their pets, as if they're human, and as if they're human using early 21st century human technology. But I remind the scientists I work with, there's no reason why a civilization that advanced would be using the speed of light like we are, or using energy and propulsion systems that we are. They're obviously not going to be, because look at the technological advancement just in the last 100 to 150 years, from an agrarian society to what we have today. So it's very important to understand that, but that has implications for what I call the cosmology, because what you don't want to do is conflate and mix together all these different manifestations of conscious entities into one gamish and then be confused about it. It's very easy to do it, because in defense of those who have done so, if you don't know the specifics of the science behind transdimensional physics and how these extraterrestrial civilizations operate, you would be absolutely easily confused by it being looking very similar in some circumstances to something from another dimension, not another star system. But this is why I always say, if you're an interstellar extraterrestrial civilization, you are a priori transdimensional. However, there are beings that are
no idea what he's talking about right
interdimensional, extra-dimensional, that aren't extraterrestrial, but they're beings and they're intelligences and they're non-human. And those all get lumped together erroneously, and that is the beginning of the end of any clarity. So that's the very first point I wanted to make about this.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I mean, it's a question of gods, spirits, archons, Elohim, and then actual interdimensional species. So that is a fascinating topic. Drew, you have your hand up. Go ahead, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on. And Dr. Greer, thank you so much for all your work. I remember watching Unacknowledged for the first time in 2018.
So
and it was really eye-opening, just to fully understand, all those. And then actually the Pentagon audits for the first time happened right afterwards. So it was interesting having seen your work and then seeing, these Pentagon audits, finally try to go through. Of course, they've all failed. But I have,
and they always will until they get this under control.
Exactly. Yep. So we covered so far. I'm glad you covered earlier the extraterrestrial versus interdimensional aspect. But I want to bring up a few aspects of craft originally
of that, because that's
was this the dude who asked like 5 questions?
Keep this straight. By the way, we have 5 documentaries. But the thing we want got to go back to the mid to late 1800s, right?
I think he
magnetic
must have been
field
earlier.
sciences we have, or a radio telescope, at a certain very high voltage and certain
Here it is.
specific frequency. Think about civilizations that are hundreds of thousands to millions of years more advanced than we are, how they might appear using the state of the art of their science and technology, and why we may confuse that with beings from, whether they be
I'm not sure about Balbazar. I actually don't think we need element 115 anymore. That's one of the biggest changes in my thought process since I've started this case.
angelic, demonic, from another
Might still be a
dimension, your
fuel,
great-grandmother rattling through the cupboards at night after she died, poltergeist, are transdimensional. Not the CI director, but his wife asked me, who was the chief operating officer of the National Academy of Sciences
I think we're going to
in
clip
Washington.
this 1630.
And she said, well, how are they communicating across these vast distances? And, you know, I was sort of reticent to tell her the truth because you are very much at risk for being considered, you know, nuts. The person I'm briefing drive it by what they ask. So in this case, I said, well, you know, the speed of light is too slow because if you're from the Andromeda galaxy, which is 2.5 million light years from here, and our team has had a contact with a very senior ambassador from that galaxy, whom we have called Bijou. But if you are communicating, say you're here near Earth and you send a signal back, at the speed of what you and I are using right now, that would take 2.5 million years to get there. At the speed of light. That's 186,000 miles per second. Now, for them to reply and say, good, how are you doing today, bud? That's another 2.5 million years. So that just took 5 million Earth years. We know that, therefore, the electromagnetic field of speed and the speed of matter, let's say electrons, you know, subatomic particles, all of that has to be transcended to go from point A to point B, interstellar. And that's why all interstellar civilizations that are extraterrestrial, that are near us or have discovered us, have to have mastered transdimensional physics and transdimensional sciences. Now, we'll get into that in a moment because it's critically important. I think one
I really wish you didn't say the Bijou thing.
I let the
really
person
wish you didn't say the Bijou
drive
thing.
it by what they ask. So in this case, I said, well, you know, the speed of light is too slow.
Okay, let's just really wish you didn't say the Bijou thing there.
Sort of meetings, I let the person I'm briefing drive it by what they ask.
Okay, there we go. Let's try that again. I think we're gonna clip it right when he talks about the how many years it is, 5 million years or whatever that is.
So in this case, I said, well, you know, the speed of light is too slow because if you're from the Andromeda galaxy, which is 2.5 million light years from here, and our team has had a contact with a very senior ambassador from that galaxy, whom we have called Bijou. But if you are communicating, say you're here near Earth and you send a signal back, at the speed of what you and I are using right now, that would take 2.5 million years to get there. At the speed of light. That's 186,000 miles per second. Now, for them to reply and say, good, how are you doing today, bud? That's another 2.5 million years. So that just took 5 million Earth years. We know that, therefore, the electromagnetic...
I really, really wish you didn't say the Bijou thing. He really kills my clip here with the Bijou thing.
So in this case, I said, well, you know, the speed of light is too slow because if you're from the Andromeda galaxy, which is 2.5 million light years from here, and our team has had a contact with
Magic
a
cards. I think
very
Bijou is
senior
the name.
ambassador
Is it
from
Bijou
that
like
galaxy,
this?
whom we have called Bijou.
Or is it B-E-J-U?
But if you are communicating, say you're here near Earth and you send a signal back, at the speed of what you and I are using right now, that would take 2.5 million years to get there. At the speed of light. That's 186,000 miles per second. Now, for them to reply and say, good, how are you doing today, bud? That's another 2.5 million years. So that just took 5 million Earth years.
Okay, that's a pretty good clip. If we could somehow get rid of the Bijou part, I think it would be spicy. Anyone know how to spell Bijou? Can we look that up? Is that even a thing we can look up? Greer Andromeda Galaxy Bijou. Yep, there it is. It is Bijou. Remember when he calls out Aaron Rodgers? Did anyone know that Aaron Rodgers did the CE5 stuff? Was that even public knowledge before Dr. Greer just straight up outed him? That was funny. I might have to clip that just to hate on Aaron Rodgers. Although, yeah. Greer Lightspeed Bijou. We're going to call this. Spoken to Bijou. He's got cred. Okay. This is a good post for winding down, and then we'll dig into a little bit of science, and maybe we can do some memes. Somebody make me a Bijou meme. I need a Bijou meme. Bijou is apparently an ambassador from the Andromeda Galaxy. Yikes. What kind of update is this? Even though I'm talking to the UAP community, should I even tag the UFO community in this? Guys, should we tag the UFO community in this? Let's do a poll. You guys tell me. I like to go with democracy. Oh, what the? Okay, guys, vote. Should we tag UFO Twitter and UFO X in this post? Should we tag them or not? Up to you guys. It's gonna be. We're doing democracy here, guys. If you care, vote. If you care, vote. Whichever vote is higher votes. Whichever has more higher votes is what we're gonna go with. I personally do not care either way. We're gonna go with democracy on this one. Should we tag UFO Twitter and UFO X? Yes or no? It's a tough one, huh? It's a tough choice. Tough choice. Let's see how we're doing. How do I... Oh, it's only 30 votes. 31 votes. Guys, there's a lot of people in here. Nobody's voting. There's almost 300 people in here. Too many people. Sometimes it's nice to stir the pot. Sometimes it's nice to stir the pot. This might get us copyrighted, but I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna pull up a joke for you guys. It's the only Dane Cook joke I like. This is probably gonna get us copyrighted. Okay, it looks like the yeses have it. Okay. God, it makes me feel sick to use their hashtags. Let them come. Let them come. No, I'm definitely not forgetting about relativity. Relativity is no issue with speed of light. It's time dilation. It's time dilation. All you have to do is check out once you watch Double Slit Experiment, Froggy, check out Double Slit Experiment. I'll link it for you. Then you'll realize that faster than light travel is capable. So is faster than light communication. This is actually how quantum entanglement was found. There you go. Check it out. Take a look at that. You know what's funny is before all these videos happened, I would actually that's not true. It must have been right after the videos. I would post about quantum entanglement, and Redditors would argue with me that the double slit experiment is solved and how simple it is. It's like that's typical peak Redditor. Time doesn't stop at the speed of light. That's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. Time does not stop at the speed of light. That's not how it works. Time dilation is based on how much mass there is. So the more mass, the slower your time goes. The less mass, the faster your time goes. That's how science works. Guys, half the audience isn't liking my stream. What does even liking my stream even do? I don't even know. Does it do something? Does it make people see it? I don't get it. That's okay. I don't really care about how many people like the stream. I'm just doing it for you guys. It's for my special people out there. My special peeps. I think Desert Cat is a little bit behind. I think she's watching Lulu. I think she's seeing Lulu. Yeah, my dog is really beautiful. She's super cute. My parents were telling me that I got to use my dog to meet chicks. They're like, man, you got to really use your dog to meet some girls. I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, it feels pretty easy when you do that. People definitely always want to pet her. Yep. Yep, we're familiar with time dilation. Don't Google things. You're not going to get the right answer. Don't Google things. I'm very familiar with time dilation. Quantum teleportation has already been proven to be real. BTW. Okay. UFO community is going to love this one. UFO community is going to love this one. Is this an hour old? This isn't even an hour old. 6,000 views. That's not bad. I'm going to grab the screenshots as well for this part. Is this giving too much information about my job? Is this giving away too much information about my job? I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I call myself database architect. That's not my official job title. It's just what I call myself based on my skill set. Oh, you guys don't need to delete that. But yeah, I'm not going to even repeat that message, Alex, but yeah. Yeah, Cliff was retweeting my stuff, and I started watching what Cliff was saying, Uncle Cliff apparently, and I realized he might be a little too into the woo for me. A little too into the woo. That's how we'll put it politically. And then he went out hard against us when, like, I called Jack Sarfati a clown, which he is. And that's when I blocked him. I don't care how many followers you have. Don't come in and try to condescend me in my replies. Especially not when you're talking about the Elohim and angels and stuff like that. There's no moral high ground. Yeah, and if you start talking about the space Jews or whatever, like, just when you start to get anti-Semitic at all, just stay away from me. I'm not trying to get involved in any of that stuff. Violet says, I'll say it. He's off his rocker. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think there's a lot of people who are into the woo who are into that. Yeah, camera's out. I got to fix my camera. I have a feeling it's my cam card. I think it's overheating. I probably have to get a better one. I am not into the anti-Semitic stuff. I have a lot of Jewish friends. I went to school with a lot of Jewish friends. I went to a Jewish preschool. I actually know some Hebrew. And I understand the situation in the Middle East is, I don't want to even touch it with a 40-foot pole. I just leave me out of it. I think that all wars are pointless. Why would I be offended at this? I would never be offended at that. Sorry, guys. I guess you don't need to watch me replying to people. Oh, Biju is that's a Jewish thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, the overheating thing's weird. I like the camera. The camera's definitely not overheating. The camera doesn't feel hot. I think it's there's like a cam card you have to use. I have a feeling that's probably what's overheating. And then when I reset the camera, it switches it or something. It's pretty bizarre though. Might be beneficial to talk more discreetly. We're just sitting here just spilling the beans on this freaking scam of this MH370. Such a scam, man. Even if these videos were somehow actually fake, like I would still be 100% sure something sketchy happened with this plane, no matter what. Why don't you guys please, like, you're being whoever's deleting this, you're being a little too rough. Unless someone is trolling, you don't need to delete it. Yeah, the cable is fine. I think it's the card. I have like a cheap $15 cam card. I think that's probably what's overheating. What I'm gonna do tonight is I'll unplug it, and then I'll see if that's what's causing the issue. And then tomorrow when we stream, we'll see. What do you guys think? Science time? Maybe science time? It's a little late in the game to worry about people's feelings. 1.1 million views on this. I did not expect this to get this many views. 1.1 million views? Tucker Carlson brings the views, folks. This guy is in straight up CNN brain. Independent aircraft investigators. You mean random people who call themselves experts? Two obviously fake videos. This guy has lost his mind, dude. There's yeah. Wall Street Advisor. Am I following Wall Street Advisor? Good. Wall Street Advisor. Just murdering people out here. This guy. Okay, that's enough of you. Oh, wait. Is this my post? Oh, this. Yeah, guys, let's stop talking to Gerald McGuire. He obviously's got mental issues. Quite the specific section. He wants me to quote it for him. Didn't somebody post the picture of this the other day? Did I take a snapshot of it? I don't know why I'm interacting with this troll. I like to correct people, though, and their false views. I guess that's kind of the way of the internet, right? Yeah, 1.1 million on that post. I'm over 40 years old. Over 40, we'll call it. Despite the fact that this fresh young face, over 40. Is this not going to post? It's not going to go? Okay. Hello. He wants me to quote it for him, even though he's the one who linked it, thinking that it was going to prove him right. Cute. People are in serious next level denial about this stuff. It's definitely science time, though, folks. Science time. Science might get a little bit rough, though. I want some. Anyone have any good science videos we can watch? Oh, we're gonna listen to some Dane Cook.
Am I the only person here who loves to watch a couple together that hates each other's guts? That has to be the most entertaining thing when you see two people that just hate each other together. And look, we've all been there. Everybody's been in the situation where you will stay with somebody you don't even like them. 2 weeks in, you're already like, no way. Can't stand this person. I'll hang around for 5 or 6 years and then we can end this thing violently. I got time. Girls, you make the craziest excuses to stay, right? That couple is the best. They fight until I can leave with my CD. That couple is the best. They fight over everything. Every little thing, huge explosion. And it's not even about the thing. It's about the fact they want to stab each other in the neck with a steak knife because they hate each other's existence. They get in what I call nothing fights. Fights about absolutely nothing, right? You see them waiting in line for the movie theater. They hold hands, but it's not loving at all. It's like this rigor mortis, rheumatoid arthritis, Red Rover grip that they get going on. And everything's an argument. I should probably bring my jacket. It might get cold. You bring your fucking jacket. You think? Do you think? Yes. What if they're pumping AC in there and then you're cold? I gotta go out and I miss the previews because I gotta get your fucking jacket. Bring your jacket. I love nothing fights. The best nothing fight I've ever seen in my life. I was at the supermarket a few months ago, and I'm going down the aisle, and I'm at the Stouffer's French bread pizzas, and I'm deciding, do I want 4 cheese or 1 cheese? Because sometimes I like a lot of cheese. Sometimes I like a dancing plethora of cheese in my mouth. And then other times, I'm into a more solo cheese adventure, just a single one-on-one, me and 1 cheese. And yet sometimes I want an orgy of cheese on my palate. So as I'm standing there and I'm contemplating my cheese future, I hear the nothing fight going on in the next aisle. I don't know exactly what they're saying, but I hear mumbles and I hear grumbles. Okay? I hear the guy going, yeah. And then I hear the girl and she's like, I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't even care. Yeah. I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't even care. I hear the nothing fight. I start getting so excited. I'm like, I gotta go watch this. I gotta go see this. I'm so excited, I leave my cart. You never leave your cart. God forbid somebody comes into the store and wants exactly that shit. And they're like, what? Jackpot. This is everything I wanted. I'm peeking around the intimate cookies and I'm watching the best nothing fight that I've ever been a part of. They're in each other's face, okay? And the guy is saying to the girl, he's going like this, I asked you, do we have any jelly in the house? Do we or do we not have jelly? You said we did last time. I'm looking in the cabinets. I don't see any goddamn jelly. I just want to know if we have jelly in the house. And she's egging him on. She's like, I don't even like jelly. I don't even like jelly. I get hives if I even look at jelly. I don't even know about jelly. I don't even, what is jelly? I don't even care. And he's like, I don't even give a shit about the hives. I want jelly in the fucking house. Stat, pronto, tonight. I don't give it. I will break your neck and pour jelly all over your body and pray to the gods of jelly to burn your soul in a jelly like hell. Now get that jelly. I'm so excited. I'm eating the Entenmann's out of the box. I've opened a box and I'm eating them. I'll pay for it. Relax. I know you're concerned, but I paid. This is the point during the nothing fight that I like to get involved. Yeah, I have to get involved, and I have to say something, just a little jab, a little poke that will fuel the fire and help take it to the next level. As they're going back and forth, I walk by them, I lean in, and I go like this, hey, dude, I know what you're saying about the jelly, bro. Yeah, tell this twat to get jelly now. See? Get the jelly. What's that word? What, twat? Good word, thanks, bro. I forgot about that word. Get the jelly, twat! Great word, dude, great word. Twat, yes.
Hope you guys appreciated that joke. Get the jelly. Get the jelly. Hey, Gemma. What's up? So I think about that Dane Cook joke a lot. Get the jelly. Like the nothing fight. That reminds me, yeah, you and UFOX. Yeah, that's about right. I like to get involved myself. Hey, bro, I totally get what you're talking about with the jelly. That's when I like to involve myself between the UFO fight. Okay, I don't care enough about this guy. I'm wasting too much time with this person. That's a CNN brain. They're not going to believe no matter what. So it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to like Antonia's stuff because she's donated money. No military uses rainbow gradient thermal. Why do people just make fake stuff up? It's literally built into the Raytheon camera. Obviously, it's added over the top. I don't know what that person's thinking. Yeah, if the pilot did this, why would there be any national security risks? If this was a pilot suicide, why would there be national security risks, guys? Doesn't make any sense. Yes, BLWM. Not just that. The corridor crew gets something else wrong. So it's shaking naturally here because it's in the turbulence. You can even just see it shaking naturally here. When it goes under, you can see it shake again, and then they zoom in. When they zoom in, because like if you were to zoom in on something, it would start to shake more and more and more based on how much you're shaking in. That actually is natural here as well. It zooms in more, and it shakes even more when it zooms in. Like how does someone look at this and think this is fake? If you took the orbs out, nobody would think this is fake. Nobody would think this is fake if you took the orbs out. It's also obviously nighttime because look at all this interference here. If it was daytime, you're not going to see all this black pattern interference. This is because this is being shot at night. Fairly confident about that as somebody who's just a random guy. And then when it zooms in, now you can look at how much it's shaking. This is because this is what it really looks like when you're zoomed in on something. How do people think this is fake? It's just because it's too hard to believe, right? It's just because it's too hard to believe. That's the reason why everyone thinks it's fake. This is the reason right here. This is why everyone thinks it's fake. I don't want it to be true either, man, but it just is what it is. The serial numbers, you mean the non-unique serial numbers on the wing? Well, first of all, I want to talk to, is it not threat? No threat? No threat. What part of this is ruled out by finding a flaperon? What makes this impossible by finding a flaperon? What part of teleportation and a burn event rules out finding a piece of the plane? I just don't get, how does finding one tiny piece of the plane prove that there was a crash? Walk me through that. I want somebody who thinks, you realize there was no matching serial numbers, right? Those serial numbers are part numbers. Those are not unique serial numbers. Like, I'm going to help you out right now. No threat. I've literally been talking to you, bud. I'm gonna help you out, no threat, right now. I'm gonna break down your CNN brain right now. You ready for it? Watch this. Watch how easy it is. Flaperon MH370 serial plate. This is all you had to do. If you had just Googled this before talking, you'd have found that the unique serial plate was missing. That's all you would have had to do. Instead of just believing what you've been told, you could have just literally just Googled it. Missing ID plate delays confirmation of MH370. A critical identification plate of a Boeing 777 flaperon that washed up in the Union Island that would tie it to MH370 is missing because of the effect of seawater on the adhesive that bonds it to the structure. This is bolted on. You can see the screws. You can see where the screws would go on this. How is this missing? How does this wash off? They did not match it to unique serial number. They matched it to a part number. This also, even if this is from MH370, what we see in these videos is consistent with that. It could have fallen off during this event. It could have fallen off afterwards. Wherever this plane goes, it's not going to the Xenu dimension, just going somewhere else on Earth. Okay, now we know this flaperon can easily be from the plane. Someone walk me through why you think the debris, all of a sudden he went quiet. All of a sudden he went quiet. So we proved that there was no unique serial number for the part. No threat. Any comment? Visual effects, guys. Visual effects. Dude, I just Googled it from you, man. Are you just in total denial? Like, this is your brain on CNN, folks. This is your brain on CNN. MH370 flaperon serial plate. Literally missing. There was no unique serial number. Are you seeing it, No Threat 33? Google it yourself, man. They did not match a unique serial number. You've been lied to. No, there was not a lot of debris. You want to see how much debris was found? This is how easily you're lied to. Look at this picture. Does these 3 tiny pieces look like a lot of debris to you, man? This is less than 1% of the plane. There's 238 people on board this plane, all with luggage on it. 3 tiny pieces of the plane are there. Even if there was nothing this big found. Even if you take all these highly likely pieces, still less than 1% of the plane. Walk me through this. Why did we find pieces that clearly have burn marks on them? This is a burnt piece of a plane. It's undeniable that this is a burnt piece of the plane. Both of these are. Look at this heat damage. This is a burnt piece of the plane. How can anyone look at this and not think this is a burnt piece of the plane? Clearly, this was on fire. Clearly. And it also happens to have the honeycomb pattern here is consistent with a Boeing plane. We literally have pieces of the plane that were on fire that's just been ignored. This is from the ATSB report. This is literally from the ATSB report. So the scenario I've put forth is fire plus teleportation. How is a couple pieces of debris, how is this prove that a plane crashed? Do you know how much debris there should have been for a plane crashing? Yeah, and just in case, just like what Quizzicoatl just said, just in case, there was an exact replica of the plane purchased in October of 2013 by GA Telesys. If you don't believe me, I'll give you a link to that too. Just in case you think that this might be fake debris, which I guess it could be, you need more doubt, we've got plenty of it. This is just cold, hard evidence. Not even just, there's no speculation, just hard evidence to cast doubt as to whether or not this is, look at this, amazing. Amazing, an exact replica of the plane purchased by GA Telesys, October of 2013. This plane, it was 25 years old this year when I took this screenshot. Planes last for 20, 30, 40 years. They scrapped this plane a decade too soon. Look at this. Delivered in 1998. It was only 15 years old, and they scrapped this plane. Why? Why did GA Telesys scrap this plane and only 15 years old? Exact copy. The parts would have matched from this plane to the ones that were found. There have been floating seats. The planes are made out of plastic and light metals. There should have been thousands of pieces found. Thousands. We should have found the debris field the very next day. My birth control alarm. It's a good one. It's a good one. We should have found. Look, guys, I'm doing this just for no threat, just because we're gonna convert somebody today to make them realize how bullshit the official narratives are.
Global persistent infrared surveillance.
Did you hear that? Global persistent infrared surveillance. Global persistent infrared surveillance
Continues to be a critical national security space mission.
How did they not find a plane, guys? Hey, no threat. If we're scanning the entire Earth all the time like this, how did they not find the debris field? Literally scanning the whole planet, and this isn't even with operationalizing the drone. This isn't even with operationalizing the satellites.
War focus on strategic ICBM systems has expanded. Sensors act simultaneously.
Look how huge these scans are, man. Do you really think they don't know where the plane was, man? Look at the Sibers system. Look at it. Look at this, man.
This will be an unprecedented resource.
These are geostationary satellites. They're just sitting out here scanning the whole world all the time. Blows me away, man. Debris doesn't fall off the... Okay, just stop pretending like you know, man. Just stop pretending. There you go. Anyway, okay. Yeah, persistent is the word. Constant, a.k.a. always scanning. So, anyway, I hope we converted someone there. Sure. I like this guy, but when I start looking at his tweets, they get a little bit, they get a little racist. They get a little bit racist. I'm not down with racism, folks. Not down with racism. Think that everybody's the same. What is NC Boy is just on fire right now. What did they hide? The debris thing is like the most common thing people say too. They're like, how about the debris? It's like that debris stuff. Like that's how easy it is to lie to people, man. Only jet airliner never found. One thing I'm 100% confident of, this plane did not crash into the ocean. Yeah, Lulu's a small husky. She's, compared to other huskies, she's not very big. Yeah, she's a Siberian husky. Desert cat. Although Desert Cat, I think you're like 30 minutes behind, but yes. Where was that link that Hermes put in the chat for us? Where was it? Oh, yeah, I've got to do some work stuff. Crap. Shit. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to have to drop here in a minute to take care of some work stuff. Actually, we'll just watch this video while I'm taking care of that. Oh, what's this? It's going to be black and white. Yeah, it's too bad Chris Leto's community is so toxic. I'm not going to do any more stuff with Chris Leto. I think he's a good guy, but his community needs a lot of help, man. He needs to regulate his community a little bit more. They're easily the most toxic community I've ever seen.
From a particular point of view. That is, from a particular frame of reference. And things look different to us under different circumstances. At the moment, things look...
This is the same one again.
You look peculiar. You're upside down.
No, you're the one that's upside down.
No, you're upside down.
No, I'm not. He's the one that's upside down, isn't he?
Well, let's toss for it.
All right.
Okay. You lose. He's the one that's really upside down. You better come into my friend.
Why do you put down Skinwalker Ranch? Because TJ Allard is a douchebag. TJ Allard actually tried to cast shade on our case. Like he was completely off his rocker. TJ Allard. Guy's a complete clown. He was so weird, man. Like he is your stereotypical like bizarro producer guy. And so we just clown on him because he was trying to say that we don't have any evidence while I'm showing him 13 pages of evidence. And then like for someone who works on a show like Skinwalker Ranch to say that we don't have any evidence is one of the most laughable, hypocritical statements you could make, honestly. It's just TJ Allard, complete clown. And if you were in the first space I was in with TJ Allard, halfway through, yeah, he's a self-righteous douchebag. Halfway through the space, he just starts making it completely about himself for like 45 minutes. I was wondering who the hell this guy was. I was trying to be nice to him in the first space I was ever in with him, which was like months ago. And he's like, well, if you want to make this about a TV show, you got to have a pitch and you got to have this. And I'm like, I never asked you about how to make this into a TV show. Like I never asked. And then he was like, kept trying to like get me to explain every little detail to him, even though I had just done an hour-long presentation about it. And it was just bizarre, man. And then we did this follow-up one, and he was just being like a total douche. And he's sitting there being like, I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you. Like literally just go listen to my, the space wasn't even about him. It's a space about Danny Jones and Julian Dory and me. And somehow TJ turns it into all about himself. Like, it was wild. The best part was he found out we were streaming, and he's like, Ashton's here streaming, laughing at us. He's like he's got the mentality of a little child. So that's the reason why we make fun of Skinwalker Ranch. It's nothing personal against the people who enjoy Skinwalker Ranch. It's just like if somebody who made Ghost Hunters is hating on people who are like investigating ghosts. It's like, dude, you make a show called Ghost Hunters, right? Like, well, why are you hating on anyone else, right? I've literally never seen Skinwalker Ranch, not one episode. Yeah, TJ's like, I've got 20 years of experience in producing TV, so you should be kissing my ring. That's like his attitude. Like, Jesus, man. Those are the people that don't deserve any respect in this world. Those are the people that don't deserve any respect. Anyone who tries to tell you that they like you owe them something because of how much work they put in or something, like usually that means that they are self-conscious about how little work they actually do. Like, I've done my job for 20 years. You'll never hear me telling one of my coworkers, you should talk to me a certain way because of my work, right? That's what like people who are just like narcissistic do, right? I've never held that over anyone my whole life. Just bizarre. Okay, sorry.
Frame of reference now.
My frame of reference was inverted from what it usually is. That view of things would be normal for me if I normally walked on my hands.
This represents a frame of reference. Just 3 rods stuck together so that each is at right angles to the other 2. Now I'm going to move in this direction. You see the frame at the same spot on your screen, but you know I'm moving this way because you see the wall moving this way behind me. But how do you know that I'm not standing still and the wall moving? It was the wall that was moving. Now the wall has disappeared, and you have no way of telling whether I am moving or not. But now you know that I'm moving. The point of this is that all motion is relative. In both cases, I was moving relative to the wall, and the wall was moving relative to me.
All motion is relative, but we tend to think of one thing as being fixed and the other thing as being moving. We usually think of the earth as fixed, and walls are usually fixed to the earth, so perhaps you were surprised the first time when it was the wall that was moving and not Dr. Hume. A frame of reference fixed to the earth is the most common frame of reference in which to observe the motion of other things.
This is the we're experiencing the
This
earth,
is the
like
frame
movement of the
reference
earth
that you're
moving,
used
right?
to. The frame is fastened to the table. The table is bolted to the floor is anchored in the building, and the building is firmly attached to the earth. Of course, the reason for having 3 rods is the position of any
Yeah, it's
object
insecurity,
such as
you're
this
right. It's
ball
not narcissism,
can be
it's insecurity.
specified
Correct.
using these 3 reference lines. This reference
Correct,
line
Eric.
points in the direction which we call up, which is a different direction here than it is on the other side of the earth. And these 2 reference lines specify a plane.
I want another video
which we
from
call
that one group.
horizontal or level. In this film, we're going to look at the motion of objects in this earth frame of reference and in other frames of reference.
I want to get another. Oh, camera's dead again. Man, camera's killed again. I need another one. I want another one of those cool ones about electricity. I want some
Moving
clip
in
about. I want some more
different
stuff about
ways
electricity.
relative to the earth frame.
Maybe something about pointing
Well,
vectors.
let's look at a motion. This steel ball can be held up by the electromagnet. Now I'm going to open the switch, and you watch the motion of the ball. The ball is accelerated straight down by gravity along a line parallel to this vertical reference line. As you can see, the electromagnet is mounted on a cart that can move. And I'm going to do exactly the same experiment that Dr. Hume did, but this time while the cart is moving at a constant velocity. The cart is pulled along by a string which is wound around this phonograph turntable, and that pulls it with a constant velocity.
A good pointing vector next.
When the cart passes this line, the ball is released, as you can see. I'm going to start the cart down at the end of the table so that by the time it gets to this point, I can be sure it's moving with a constant velocity. Now, I want you to watch right here so that you will see the ball falling.
Okay, well the ball's going to move at the same speed that the cart's moving. Yeah.
I think you can see that the ball landed in exactly the same position that it did before when Dr. Hume did the experiment with the cart fixed. But this time, the ball could not have fallen straight down. Let me show you why.
And the ball was moving forward.
The ball was released at that point. If it had fallen straight down, because the cart moves on in the time that it takes to fall, it would have landed back here somewhere. But it didn't.
This is good for people, guys, to understand.
Now I'm going to do the
it's simple,
experiment
but it's good.
again.
It's helped.
This
Yeah.
time, I'm going to let you watch the motion through a slow motion camera, which is fixed.
Whatever it's
Here,
connected to, it's going to be moving the same
cart.
speed, right? Yeah.
Moves by, the ball will fall, and you can watch in the slow motion camera.
They had a slow motion camera back when the 60s. That's cool. You can see it's moving
I'll show
forward,
you this
right?
again. This time there'll be a line on the film so that you can see the path. I think that you can see that the path of the ball is a parabola. But all of this has been in a frame of reference fixed to the earth. How would this motion look in a frame of reference which was moving along with the
I don't know
cart?
what eco mode is.
Frame of reference
Could
like
be.
that. Well, so that you can
I'll have
see
to
what
look
it
it
looks
up.
like, I'm going to fix this slow motion camera so that it moves with the cart. Like this. I'm going to do the experiment again. And incidentally, I'll start it, and then I'm going to stand here so that when the ball falls, you will have something which is fixed as a reference point.
Oh, yeah.
In the moving frame of
I'll
reference,
check the
I
eco
think
mode
you
thing
can
after
see
this.
that the path
Could be.
of the ball is a vertical straight line. It looks exactly
Seems like
the
it might
same
be
as
turning
it did
itself
before
off.
when Dr. Hume did the experiment with the cart fixed. If we were moving along in this frame of reference and we couldn't see the surroundings, then we wouldn't be able to tell by this experiment that we were moving at a constant velocity. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't be able to tell by any experiment that we were moving at a constant velocity. I'm going to do the experiment once more, and this time I'm not going to stand here behind the ball as it falls so that you won't have any
I love
fixed reference
science.
frame.
Yeah, it looks like it's not even moving, right? You can't tell.
As far as you're concerned, that time, the cart wasn't necessarily moving at all. That time, when you couldn't see the background, then I think perhaps it was harder for you to realize that you were in a moving frame of reference. The important thing to
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. The batteries are shown in the manifest. The batteries on the plane. There's a cargo manifest.
That in Thursday's class.
This is
we
pretty
will
quiet.
Be very short on time by the time we get to the idea of the pointing vector. I'm making this video so you have
Oh, this
some
is really
basic
quiet.
background.
I
To
can't
go
turn it
along
up
with
any
the
louder.
reading. So this right here is my attempt of drawing an electromagnetic wave traveling through space. So of course C would be the direction that it's moving in. And keeping in mind then the electric field and magnetic
I need to be
field
simple enough for
would be
us to understand.
perpendicular to each other. So this would be like the electric field, which I drew in pink, would be
I want stuff that makes me
on,
go,
if
ooh,
this
wow.
is the x-axis, would be on the y-x plane. So this is supposed to be one plane here that would correspond to the screen. While the blue, which represents the magnetic field, would be in a plane that would be coming out of the screen, which would represent the z-axis. And so I tried to draw that three-dimensional situation here on the screen. And was marginally successful. But hopefully you remember these pictures from the book. Keeping in mind, or just reminding you, that both these electric fields and the magnetic field are sinusoidal, so they're varying with time. These expressions should look somewhat familiar because they
Sinusoidal.
are related to
She just said they're
waves.
sinusoidal. Huh. The same as the path of the orbs. That cannot be a coincidence. Cannot be a coincidence the paths of the orbs are sinusoidal, right? What are we missing about that? I feel like we're missing stuff.
Traveling waves, which we studied at the very beginning of the semester. So in some respects, we're circling back to the material that we saw at the beginning of the semester. So pointing vector. Why do I want to talk about the pointing vector? Well, the pointing vector is important in certain applications because when we talk about electromagnetic waves, which are light, so sometimes I'll say light because electromagnetic waves is a lot to say, but anyway.
You think it's a Windows power setting? I doubt it, man.
As they travel through space, they're carrying energy. And that energy is contained in both the electric field and the magnetic field. We might talk about energy density.
iPhone 15 in a mouse case.
Come on now.
Which we
chat.
have
You might
encountered
have to move
in
chat off the
previous
screen.
chapters. Maybe in the chapter on capacitance, we may have talked about the energy density because we were talking about how a fully charged capacitor stores energy. And in that situation, the energy is stored in the electric
This is kind of
field.
boring.
And so for our electromagnetic wave,
Is she
we
writing
would say,
backwards?
well, we have both energy stored in
I know,
the
'cause the
electric
camera
field
would
and in the
reverse it.
magnetic field. Right now I'm going to present it in terms of energy density. The energy stored in the electric field can be written as 1/2 epsilon naught times E squared. And then the energy stored in the magnetic field can be expressed as 1/2 over, well,
She is writing backwards? That's wild. She's writing backwards? This lady's got skills.
1 over 2 mu naught B squared. So as I mentioned, we did talk about this
I feel like I have to focus on
energy
this.
density in a previous chapter. I don't think we talked about the energy stored in a magnetic field. If we use the relationship that is true for electromagnetic waves, that the ratio of the electric field and the magnetic field are equal to the speed of light, we could actually rearrange this and substitute into this expression in order to find out how we would express the energy density in solely the magnetic field, and we would get this term.
Got it.
So in any case, that sort of gives a little bit of
Jimmy.
background for what the Poynting vector is. But
She's got a big ring on.
the
Jimmy.
relevant information is the idea that as
Two rings.
these waves
I don't know
are
which
traveling
hand's
through
right hand,
space,
but-
they're carrying energy with them, and that energy is stored in those fields that actually the waves are. The waves consist of those fields. Now we come up with this vector called the
Too
Poynting
closed
vector.
Poynting vector.
And the Poynting vector is, I like to describe it as a flux, but not as much like magnetic flux, but
Guys, it's bugging me out that I can't tell if she just flipped the video or what. She's also left-handed. She's got the devil's hand. They used to call people who are left-handed like witches and stuff.
an electric flux, but sort of like that.
She's a left-hander. She's got the devil's hand, guys.
The flux here we're talking about is sort
I think
of
she is
like
writing
as this wave
backwards.
is traveling through space, if I imagined a plane that the wave would pass through, the Poynting vector.
Guys, I can't focus on anything else other than the fact of whether or not she's writing backwards. It's really bothering me. I'm still trying to figure out the writing backwards part of this. Is she writing back? I feel like she has to be writing backwards. She just went from right to left. She's left-handed. This is her left hand. We're sorry, Moonlight. Did she? I don't think she did. Look, so she's left-handed. We all agree, right? This is her left hand. I mean, this is her. This is her left arm. This is her left hand, and she's writing right to left. She's writing right to left. She's writing backwards, I think. This is bugging me out. That doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. She can't be right-handed. The video can't be flipped that way. She has to be. Even if you mirror the perspective, does it? Wait, does that work?
Would describe
This is-
the energy
this is
that goes
bugging me.
through that area per unit time. And so
I'm pretty sure her arm can't flip to the other side.
well, that's why it's a flux. And you know,
Guys, I don't think we're ever gonna figure out the videos if we can't figure out. We can't figure out if she's right or left-handed.
so then we could say, well, electric flux and magnetic flux are sort of like that because they are calculating fields passing through an area. But this is a little bit of a twist on that, but we're sort of
Let's just move on from the fact that we can't tell if this is what handed she is.
thinking about what is the energy passing through a area in a certain amount of time. And that is going to be quantified by what we call the Poynting vector.
The amount of energy passing through a certain amount of time is the Poynting vector.
The way that it's defined is 1 over mu naught and then E cross B, which if you think about it and you remember from the beginning of the chapter when we first start introducing the electromagnetic waves, which are light, we did mention that the direct
Guys, is this my left hand or is this my right hand? Let me look at my video. No, this is still my left hand. So she's definitely left-handed. There's no way to trick it. I'm looking at my own video, which should be flipped as well. This is my left hand still over here. So yeah, no.
direction of propagation is always given by E cross B. So it sort of makes sense that if we're talking about the motion of the energy or how the energy is moving, that it would
She's a witch,
E cross B
guys.
absolutely.
Guys, she's a witch. This must be VFX. Guys, I think this is a portal effect from the 90s that we're looking at.
Really gives that direction. And also talking about the electric field and the magnetic field kind of circles back to the
Hermes, that's what bothering me too. She's writing backwards better than I can write forwards. That's the part that's really killing me right now.
idea of the energy density, which of course we could change from energy density to just simply energy. But obviously it would be related to the strength of those electric
So energy
fields
over
and magnetic
area
fields.
times time.
So enough justification
Someone,
for this expression.
Mick West, are you out there? Debunkers, we need you to debunk this video for us. We need you to debunk this video for us, people. We need some help here. Later knows our equations.
Now, if you think about it, I actually
Debunkers, is this video AI? Did somebody hoax this video?
wrote here the expressions for electric field and magnetic field.
I'm gonna
And
skip
if we
the ads.
substituted those in here, we would see that the pointing vector would be something that would vary in time.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying.
I was like, I skipped the ads. And I was like, we got hit by ads. Yeah, I'm going to sleep after this, I think. I can't tell if she's writing backwards. It looks like she's writing backwards. Mick West, please. We need your help, Mick. Debunk this video.
You know, it's not a constant value, but instead it is a value that will wax and wane along with these cosine functions. So because of that, an instantaneous value of the pointing vector, that is the value of a
It waxes
pointing
and
vector at
wanes.
a
So it's waxing and waning because of these connections here. Because of the sinusoidal pattern. So it's going to wax and wane. Which one's wane? Wane down here, wax is up here. Yeah, she has rings on both hands too, just making it even more confusing. I'm pretty sure she's a witch, guys. I'm pretty sure she's a witch.
specific time might not be as useful because of the fact that if we just change the time, we could get a totally different value for the same wave. So what we like to do is we like to think about what its average would be. Like what would be just sort of the average value of
Hermes
the
doesn't
amount
like
of
her.
energy that's being delivered.
Ambidextrous
Before we
witch.
do that, let's sort of write a scalar quantity or a scalar amount for the pointing vector, like just how big
Wax
is
on,
it if I
wax off.
substituted these expressions in for E and B. I could write it if I, again, use this relationship here between the electric field and the magnetic field. I could express this just in terms of
Yeah, these are Harry Potter glasses for sure. She looks like Doris Underbrook or whatever, Underbridge.
one of the fields. For now, we'll do electric field. We could say that
Oh, what up, Jeremy?
the value of
Yeah, we're
the
sciencing the crap
pointing
out of this right
vector
now.
could be written as speed of light times
Jeremy, you just got here. We need to know, Jeremy, is she a witch? Is she writing backwards? What's going on in this video? We need help, man. We need help. We need Jeremy to tell us if she's writing backwards or forwards and if she's right-handed or left-handed. It's killing us right now.
times epsilon naught times E naught squared times the cosine squared of kx
She has a video called the right-hand rule. Oh, no. We might have to watch that.
minus omega t. But what we would really like is, what is its average value? Now this quantity
I just
here
want to
is
understand
called
pointing
the
vectors,
intensity.
guys. I think she's writing backwards, too. I'm going backwards writing.
Intensity and the average value for the pointing vector are exactly the same thing. It's just sometimes you'll be told the intensity is this, and you have to remember that that actually means the average value for the pointing vector. So if you think about
I want a better
the
pointing vector
cosine
video.
squared function,
We might have to watch one
the
more.
cosine function in general.
Oh, damn it.
looks like
Guys, Jeremy just debunked it. It's the video's reversed. Damn it. So is she right-handed or left-handed, though? She's right-handed. We're just making it look like it's left-handed.
Yes. Right? Varies
Maybe she's not a
between
witch.
+1 and -1. If we square it, what happens is that it always is positive.
Wait, what did she just do here?
So it'll now
'cause she
it'll only
squared it,
vary
yeah.
between 0 and 1.
Okay.
And that might make it more helpful to think about if we looked over one complete period of the wave, what would be this average value? And hopefully it makes sense to you that it would be equal to 1/2. And so if we think about
Okay. Yes, sure.
taking all this,
She's just going to
but
draw a
looking
line
at
through
its
this, or not
average
quite. Take
value,
the average value.
into, over one period, we would say that it's going to just
Yeah, I really wanted her to be a witch. That would have really made this video a lot better.
be 1/2
Wait, should I change the name of the stream? Possible witch? Question mark.
C epsilon naught
Somebody confirmed right-handed.
E
Damn it.
naught squared, which could also be written in terms of
It would have been a lot of skills for her to be writing backwards.
a magnetic field, and in that case it would be C over 2 mu naught B naught squared.
Can't get over the witch part.
When we talk about intensity,
getting too
it
late.
is still going to represent the energy passing through an area per unit time. But the intensity is just more over sort of taking away the fact that these waves are constantly changing and sort of looking like, well, as an average over time, this would be how much energy we would be seeing. And that's what we did here by letting the cosine squared, that average value being 1/2. And so this just gives us a single value. This gives us a nice idea. Given a light source, for instance, we could think about if it has a particular intensity at its emission. We could also then think about how that's going to decrease as the light travels outward, because you would be having the same amount of energy, but now you're spreading it over a larger area, and thinking about what effect that would have. And also this relationship.
Yeah, can someone find me a better
would also
pointing vector
allow you
video?
to figure
I need something that's like better than this. I need like more, something that's like for idiots. It's got to be like real simple. Like maybe this one. Oh. How about this one? This guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. We need somebody who's not a witch. Oh, she's actually right-handed. Okay, look, Jeremy debunked it within like 5 minutes, guys.
Okay.
After talking to Dr. Greer today, I'm very, very confident now that teleportation's real. We should stop calling it teleportation, though. I think that's what messes with people's minds. When we call it teleportation, people think of Star Trek. We need to call it superluminal speeds. That's what we need to be calling it from now on, folks. Superluminal speeds already, or that's what we're going to call it. Hold on a sec, guys. One sec. One sec, guys. I'm just finishing some work stuff real quick. It'll take 1 minute. And done. Okay.
So what I want to do in this video is to
yeah, maybe this guy's a wizard. This is already looking the same.
point out a very neat and very important connection between the directions of E and B in the solution to Maxwell's equations
We got Jeremy now looking for the software.
that we found several videos ago, and the pointing vector. So I've shown you the solution here. Remember, we had an electromagnetic wave that was propagating in the x direction. That's what we found. Okay. And it had an EY and a BZ. Okay, the BZ is pointing out at you.
Okay, the BZ is pointing at us. Okay.
And the wave was moving in this direction. But at this one moment in time when we took a snapshot of it, the EY, which up here was pointing up, some ways over, half a wavelength over, the EY was pointing down. And at the spot where the EY was pointing down, the BZ had flipped sign also. So the BZ, instead of pointing at you, as was the case over there, was pointing away from you towards me.
But it's still pointing vector.
So this was the solution that we found. This is what we found just by following our nose and solving the equations. And now let's work out what the pointing vector is. And let's remind ourselves what the definition of the pointing vector. So
I've been
the
spelling
pointing
it right,
vector.
Guys. Wait, is this guy also a witch? This guy's using the same thing, huh?
Which we symbolize by S. The pointing vector
a lot of wizards and witches out here tonight.
The definition of it, which we learned previously, is E cross B, and then there's a constant here, which is mu naught.
Yeah, we're learning stuff. This is hocus pocus.
And
pointing vector's not
so
real,
let's
guys.
work this out.
It's all magic.
E cross B. Well, so I take my right hand and I go E cross B.
Whoa, he just gave it away. He just gave it away. He said his right hand. He said his right hand, folks. He's a wizard. He's a wizard.
Look at that.
Unless he knows that this is his left hand and he knows it's reversed.
Just pointing this way. So right here at this location, from this E and this B, I have a pointing vector which points in this direction. So again, let me use my right hand. E cross B. This time E is pointing down. B is, so I curl my fingers in the direction of B. That means from you towards me. And again, pointing vector this way. So here also.
Double negatives, man. Gets confusing.
Pointing vector points in this direction. So this tells you that the story hangs together. Okay, the electromagnetic.
This stream has had 2,000 views already.
Magnetic solution that we found described waves going this way, and the pointing vector points this way. And what that means is that this electromagnetic wave is carrying energy this direction.
Okay.
It also means, by the way, that if I had started out constructing a solution in which I had, let's say, the EY exactly as it is, but suppose I had chosen at the beginning of my derivation and a bunch of videos previously, suppose I had chosen that at the spot where EY points in the positive Y direction, BZ, instead of pointing in the positive Z direction, suppose I made BZ point the other way. Suppose here my BZ was pointing not out at you, but instead pointing towards me, away from you. Then I would have taken my right hand out and I would have gone E cross B, and the pointing vector would have pointed that way. And in such a solution, this B would have been in the opposite direction also, and here too, when I would have done this, and the pointing vector would have pointed this way. So if I had chosen my BZ to point the other way, I would have then followed through the math, and I would have found that I had a solution to Maxwell's equations as long as the whole pattern was going that way. And you should go back and check the derivation and see that that's true.
Okay, so what we need to figure out for tomorrow is we need to figure out exactly how you can abuse this. This seems abusable. We need to be able to create infinite energy out of this. There must be a way. Like, I think the toroids are the answer, right? Where you can create a shape where we can cause the pointing vectors to just do something nuts. Because it's named after a guy pointing. Yeah, the best stuff is the basic stuff. So the reason why this is important, guys, is we know what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a system that can focus energy to a single point to such a high degree that it can break the fabric of space-time. Similar to what we were watching with Bob Greenyer earlier today, when I put you guys here. This is what we need to figure out. Oh, come on. We got to figure out the curl of the Poynting vector. I need Jeremy to explain this for me. This is what I need to understand. I'm too noob at this.
Gravity going through. This is a Geon from 1954 from this chap, John Archibald Wheeler, the guy that worked on the Manhattan Project.
Curl of the Poynting vector.
He says this electromagnetic wave, a standing wave, which is basically what matter is, it's trapped light, right, is held together by a gravitational azimuth. That is a gravitational azimuth. So we have gravity coming through here. We have intense magnetic field, and we have a toroidal moment. We have a toroidal moment, and we have ions coming in here. We have everything focused to an incredibly small point.
What he's saying right now, basically.
And the fields calculated for these structures, this is 20 microns across. I've already showed you structures that we've observed much smaller, and they are fractal all the way down. So the substructure in here can have a much higher field strength, and then higher and higher and higher and higher. And if you keep piling on the energy and it's not being lost, it can get very, very... This is one pulse. One pulse. A resonant phenomena builds and builds and builds and builds.
So what he's talking about here is basically like you build a system that constantly increases the amount of energy that it's without losing it to a point where you get to a point where you just have as much as you need.
So what you can have is a scenario where trillions of atoms are forced into this little box, and they all become coherent. You can make so that the challenge
become coherent, guys. Resonance, coherence.
The challenge is people think you can only make a Bose-Einstein condensate, a coherent matter, at near absolute zero. I learned from the Lockheed Martin
or clipping this. When did he just start saying that?
Condensate, a coherent matter at near absolute zero.
I think it's about 55.
They all become coherent. You can make, so that the challenge is people think you can only make a Bose.
Okay, so I think we clip it at 2957.
People think you can only.
Yeah, 2957. We're going to clip this. 2957.
Only make a Bose-Einstein condensate, a coherent matter, at near absolute zero. I learned from the Lockheed Martin 2013 paper, Systems and Methods for Creating a Coherent Matter Wave, that using an electric discharge of electrons going into some 10 micron cavities, they could produce coherent matter wave using the Aharonov bomb effect, which allows for phase synchronization and energy exchange. Okay?
That's what we want right there. That's what we want. That's what the noobs need, guys.
It's the Aharonov bomb effect that is critical to this process. And you know what? It occurs in the center of a fractal toroidal structure. And that was published in the 1990s by the team, including Vladimirovich Dubovik. Okay. So.
That's what I want. I'm either posting that tonight or tomorrow morning. Camera off again.
Okay, and here it is. Afanasyev and Dubovik, okay, I'm not going to use that anymore. Some remarkable charge current configurations. Joint Institute for Nuclear Research, and here we go. This is a fractal toroidal structure.
I'm going to clip this real quick, guys. Sufficient energy density achieved in this matter will reverse the flow of the superforce, causing the space containing the energy to revert back to a state of quantum coherence. Yeah, that's this one is really... I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys. I recommend everybody watch this. Actually, Bob Greenier sent this to me, and I replied back, said I was already watching it. I was like, dude, I'm ahead of you. Bob Greenier is definitely ahead of the game on this front. Definitely better. Ahead of the game. He's got some stuff figured out. Wouldn't surprise me if he's had some threats. He needs to be careful, man. He needs to actually be careful. Okay, 2957. 2957 through, what was it? 3027. I'll probably post this tomorrow because I'm tired. And we already posted a bunch of stuff tonight. Man. Let me see.
Okay. Effect that is critical to this electric discharge. And they all become coherent. You can make, so that the challenge is, people think you can only make a Bose-Einstein condensate, a coherent matter, at near absolute zero. I learned from the Lockheed Martin 2013 paper, Systems and Methods for Creating a Coherent Matter Wave, that using an electric discharge of electrons going into some 10-micron cavities, they could produce coherent matter wave using the Aharonov bomb effect, which allows for phase synchronization and energy exchange. Okay? It's the Aharonov bomb effect that is critical to this process. And you know what? It occurs in the center of a fractal toroidal structure. And that was published in the 1990s.
Pause that. Okay. Pretty spicy, guys. Pretty spicy. I like this a lot. So this is a pretty good night, I think. We did a lot of stuff. Anyone do any... Oh, yeah. We need to check out Jeremy's stuff, too. You guys should definitely check out his... What is it? Aerogels? The aerogels are really interesting, man. Aerogels are really interesting. I think I'm probably going to write something up about this Lockheed Martin stuff. Generate a coherent matter beam wave. This might be the answer. Resonant cavities. Creates resonance. 1 micron across. 1 micron is very small. Did that download? Okay, let's see if this works.
Challenge is, people think you can only make a Bose-Einstein condensate, a coherent matter, at near absolute zero. Challenge is, people think you can only make a Bose-Einstein condensate, a coherent matter, at near absolute zero. I learned from the Lockheed Martin which allows for phase synchronization and energy exchange. Okay?
I think that's fine. That clip's probably fine. Phase synchronization and energy exchange. That's what we're looking for here. Yeah, I think aerogels are not the answer. I think they're a piece of the puzzle. Any type of advanced engineering and metamaterials and material science is definitely solid. If you can create a vacuum space like with aerogel, then you can resonate at the right frequency. Interesting. Yo, Jeremy, do people knock on your door when you start buying like phosphorus and other sketchy ingredients? Like, I feel like some of the stuff, if you try to buy it, you might get a knock on your door. This is pretty good. I like this matter beam stuff. Definitely need to read this paper. Let's read this real quick before we go to sleep. Coherent massless particle beams such as lasers have been successful at spawning many disruptive technologies. A massive counterpart to lasers, namely coherent matter wave beams, may hold the promise of similar and even more revolutionary technologies. Generating massive coherent beams, however, has been elusive. A major obstacle in producing coherence in matter waves is to change the phase of the beam particles without modifying the energy of the particles. Conventional phase modification effects may lead to a change in energy, thus modifying the wavelength of the particles and making it difficult to synchronize the particles for coherence. Dude, this is explaining what's happening to the plane. I can already just tell. While coherence for photons may be achieved through photon emission enhancement via resonance, a similar technique for massive particles, e.g. particles with mass, may not work because the velocity of the massive particles is a function of the wavelength. The speed of the photons is the speed of light, regardless of the energy. This dependence of the energy on the speed of the particles may make it difficult for massive particles to become coherent, unless a way is found for changing the massive particle phase without changing the energy. Okay, this is getting really spicy. You did have the FBI visit? Holy shit. The FBI did visit. That's wild, man. That's wild. Wow. What the hell? What are beetle wings? Like real beetle wings? Luminescence? According to various aspects of the subject technology, a directed beam of low entropy coherent massive particles similar to laser beams may be produced, but with concentrations millions of times higher than any intense laser beams currently available. Furthermore, unlike laser beams or the Bose-Einstein condensate, the subject technology may produce coherent matter waves that allow both fermions and bosons to achieve coherence. Whoa. It's Yahtzee time, folks. You guys remember the video we posted several weeks ago where you can convert bosons to fermions? Now they're basically saying we don't need to convert them. We can allow fermions to achieve matter coherence. Wow. According to various aspects of the subject technology, a system for generating a coherent matter wave beam is provided. The system comprises a plurality of beam-generated units disposed. Each of the plurality of beam-generated units is configured to generate stream of charged particles. I need that to be converted to English to me. The system also comprises a magnetic field generator, probably a high gravitational field generator, to expose the plurality of the streams to a magnetic field such that the charged particles of the plurality of the streams undergo phase synchronization with one another in response to a vector potential associated to the magnetic field, and the plurality of the streams is directed along one or more channels to combine with one another and produce a coherent matter wave beam. I think that the orbs are making the matter wave beam happen across the plane. Beetle wings? I know chitlin from, I don't know, various video games I used to play. There's actually... Why are beetle wings anti-gravity? I need someone to just explain that to me. Very simple. You guys are confusing the heck out of me. It's cool, though. Yeah, we need Jeremy and I need to make catastrophic disclosure happen. Jeremy's got the science part and the science connections. I've just got, I don't know, maybe social media skills. Metallic beetles. Okay. The metamaterial effect that makes it look like metal. Interesting. According to various aspects of the subject technology, a method for generating a coherent matter wave beam is provided. The method comprises generating plurality of streams of charged particles. The method also comprises exposing the plurality of the streams to a magnetic field such that the charged particles of the plurality of the streams undergo phase synchronization with one another in response to a vector potential associated with the magnetic field, and the plurality of the streams is directed along the same direction to combine with one another to produce a coherent matter wave beam. This feels like what they did to the plane. This just feels like it. I'm not smart enough in the science to explain it, but I'm more of a theoretical person. This is when I read this, I just can envision that that's what they're doing with the orbs. According to various aspects of the subject terminology, a system for generating a coherent matter wave beam is provided. The system comprises of a housing having one or more channels. The system also comprises of at least one beam generating unit disposed within the housing. The at least one beam generating unit is configured to generate a stream of charged particles. Charged particles are generated with the same non-zero kinetic energy as one another. People who are not watching this are missing out. The charged particles comprise of fermions. The system also comprises a magnetic field generator configured to expose the stream to a magnetic field such that the charged particles of the stream in response to the vector potential associated with the magnetic field undergo phase synchronization with one another without exchanging energy with one another, and the stream is directed along one or more channels to produce a coherent matter wave beam. Huh. Yeah, Bernie, I'll take a look at that email. I think I saw it. I've just been busy, man. What, you guys are all yelling Hutchinson effect. Is that something I need to be pulling up right now? I'll take a look at the emails tomorrow, Bernie, and confirm with you guys. I have a bunch of stuff. I'm probably trying to take it easy over the holidays too. I don't want to do so many podcasts. I've been doing more than one every single day. We'll definitely have to look at the Hutchinson effects at some point. We might have to do it right now. We're trying to get caught up, Hermes. We're trying. Whoa. What the F?
It was all about was
extremely
high voltages in, but equally, of course, what the resonant.
We'll look at this later, but that's floating. What the? Wow.
Is done. I'm thinking
that does seem like it could be called anti-gravity. Anti-gravity doesn't really feel like the right term for this, right? No one's been able to replicate the Hutchinson effect yet. I bet they have. I bet they have, and it's just not. I bet it's not just. I bet it's classified. The more I read about this, the more I think that we've figured it out. Lockheed Martin at least figured it out. What was this? 12 years ago. 2011. I think they figured out how to do this in the last 15 years. With the plane, we might have been looking at one of the first. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if the plane was not a test. Oh, do you think there was a string in that one? Could be. Could be. We'll have to dig more into it. If UFOs are real, there's a way. If UFOs are real, there's definitely a way. I'm starting to wonder now. I'm thinking that if this teleportation technology is real, I'm thinking we just uncovered this like 10, 15 years ago. That this has not like been proven out there for that long. Did I already read this part? The charged particles are generated with the same non-zero kinetic energy as one another. The charged particles comprise of fermions. The system also comprises a magnetic field generator configured to expose the stream to magnetic fields such that the vector potential associated with the magnetic field undergo phase synchronization with one another without exchanging energy. I think we already read that. So they're able. Lockheed Martin definitely thinks they can do it. Lockheed Martin definitely thinks they can cause the phase synchronization. The plane, we don't know exactly where the plane would have gone. My guess is it got to Diego Garcia, but who knows? Additional features and advantages of the subject technology will be set forth in the description below. and in part will be apparent from the description or may be learned by practice of the subject term technology. Illustration 1, an example of a system for generating a coherent matter wave beam in accordance with the various aspects of the subject technology. Is this figure 1? Yeah, wow. I wish I understood this. Figure 1, that's it. What's figure 2? An example of a beam generating unit. Scientific drawing of the coupling between neighboring particles in accordance with various aspects of the technology. I'm going to write this up tomorrow. We're going to put Lockheed Martin on blast because I'm all in on this being Lockheed Martin technology. Yeah, Jeremy, here's my view on when it comes to stuff where it's like might be fake, is that we just figure it out ourselves, right? Let's just figure it out if it's real ourselves. That's the beauty of science, right? Reproducible. Wait, he used your old video as his explanation? He used your video? That's funny, man. That's really funny. Interesting. I'm pretty sure when Lockheed Martin puts out a patent that it's not a joke. I don't want to do the whole detailed description right now. This is definitely interesting, though. I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys. I'm going to probably tie it. I'm going to put it in the description of the stream as well. Anything else I need to throw in the stream? We'll keep Maxwell's equations for later. I think that's probably good for tonight. Is that good, guys? Supposedly, these Boeing aircrafts are being monitored independently all the time as well, according to this somehow. I'm going to keep this up for later, too. Okay, guys, I'm tired. It's sleep time for me. Lockheed, we never forget who we're working for. Hail Hydra. We're also going to FOIA everybody. We're going to FOIA everyone. Tomorrow, probably, I'm going to FOIA all these freaking organizations. I want to get responses back from all of them about MH370 that all say that it's classified for the interest of national defense. Why would MH370 stuff be classified in the United States in the interest of national defense? Makes no sense unless we did something. Bizarre, man. For the glory of the Emperor. Okay, with that said, I'm going to play you guys out. Catastrophic disclosure. You know what it is. You know what's coming. Here we go. Let me play it. My favorite. Where is it? Where is it? There it is.
Malaysian 3.
Hold on. Start it over. Full screen.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
learn from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
God, do I love that. I love this. Alien